carry with the description. good night soon. Hi, Empress. Hi, Isabella. You said I miss you. I want to give you that update. Go ahead. What's up? I just be writing up the Earth sign Twitter already. That's not how this works. The Sarla? I don't know how to say it. The Sarla. Read the description. As it says everywhere. Read the description. Introduce yourself. Says that everywhere. How feel? So I failed that test, but another opportunity opened for me, so I will be a medical assistant and have more experience under my name by next year, instead of waiting 3 years. Interesting. So something else opened up. Read the description. Will you get good results this year? Seems like you will get good results. I would say it's going to take you a couple of different tries though. I see you having to do it twice, more than once, in order to actually get better or good results. Whether that test is the same test each time, or it's a situation where maybe you choose something else that's less difficult. But I see you having to take it a couple of different times. Just start low. The job is retail. It's easy work for me. Really like training and taking me serious and giving me real hours and wanting and pay better. Could be working in a doctor's office or a hospital by next year. I start in May 8th. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And you was all scared and shit. Seems like it's working out well for you. He said, you're from Virginia, just want to show y'all some love. Okay. I like people who like to just sit and chill as well. If I ever told you I had a favorite psychiatrist when I met at 13. Now I reconciled with her. She's a therapist now. She gave me antidepressants and life kind of been good. That's good. That's great actually. It's good that everything is kind of ironing itself out. I know it was a little scary there for a second. Let's see, it worked out. It rolled out. Thank you, Phyllis. I appreciate it. Let's see who comes through and follows the rules. That's what I'm most interested in. You spelled it correctly. Haitian. Oh, that's sweet. That's very sweet. She giving you that maternal love, a little extra maternal love. I feel like I should do a collective reading. I really do, because like I be writing shit down for earth signs and it just keeps popping through. There's only so much I can fucking put on Twitter for. I think that's what I'm about to do. It's gonna say anyways, we gotta dust out the fires and see what's up. He said I can connect with people. Something about her had me connected, and I'm happy she took me in. That's awesome. Might have to go get a snake too, yo. Might have to go get a snake. He said I'm a cat. Nice to meet you, cat. I'm also a cat. Like I said, first sign shit just keeps popping out. I'm not sure where we're at. Haven't been keeping track of my astrology recently. Just because I just been sitting back, letting people ride. Like snacking on right now. I think it's like that earthy shit that's kicking in more like right this minute. I did smoke just a little bit, but also I did drink, so we a little cross right now. But you know, I'm not usually an eater, an obsessive eater. When I do get under the influence, what we peaking at right now collectively is interesting, just a little bit. I think that we're picking up on like the Punisher type vibe. People punishing others in what they feel like to be a more justified manner. More justified than, I don't know, the government, the police, the popo. I see a lot to do with people getting arrested. Trials, false starts. They say around the clock, people being arrested around certain folks. Are you a cap? Yes, I am. Yeah, a lot of people are in limbo as well right now. Limbo when it comes to their finances, when it comes to their money. I feel like if anyone's planning on bailing anyone out, or maybe you're trying to bail yourself out of a situation, it doesn't have to be jail. It could just be particularly around the home and the apartment. Because I see something to do with like apartment and like paying the rent up to 3 months or something like that. 3 to 6 months is what I picked up on. Or like there's that travel vibe, travel energy. I feel like there's a big huge list of things that you have to do in order to move on to the next step when it comes to finances. They talk about consultations as well. Talking about consultations. Maybe because they say consulting with a legal team. There's someone here consulting with somebody with a legal team, or consulting possibly with your new boss, something like that. It looks almost too good to be true. There's something to do with like whoever the legal representative is, or whoever the boss is. Seems a little bit of like crookedness. Seems a little like. I'm gonna be real. It seems like if you go into this too bone-headed and too stubborn, seems like you're gonna get caught up in a whole other mess that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Doesn't feel right to me. Seems like they drag people down into a plot or like a financial agreement that they know or are aware of that normal people can't pay it off. Yeah, they're like, let's set up a monthly payment. Got the magician, the hermit, and the moon all present. That's some fucking powerful ass energy. The gift of giving, the gift of manifestation. Okay. Oh, I heard I need to make a withdrawal. Put the fucking money in the bag, bitch. I'm gonna kill you. That song "Criminal" by Eminem. And I ain't even got no music on. What am I doing? Let me put that on. Put the money in the bag, bitch, and I won't kill you. That's what he's saying. They talk about listening and learning. So I feel like this is you coming forward, possibly to a younger individual, younger man, it feels like to me, saying like, you need to fucking listen and you need to fucking learn. That's not how you approach someone. That's not how you walk up on somebody. That's not how you, this is not how you do it, okay? You just don't do that. That's what I keep picking up on. You just don't do that. That's not how it fucking works. Like, it's so, I could feel petty shit happening here with the Emperor. I feel really petty people popping through. It might be somebody who's doubling up on they want polyamory. That's what it's just feeling like to me. I'm gonna be real. Like, I try to say doubling up on like romantic relationship, where they want romantic relationship with everybody. Just feel like they want polyamory. Like, they want everybody in the motherfucking club, you see. They want the whole corner. Okay? They want the whole globe. The whole corner store. I feel like they don't even care what the person really to be looking like. What type of person it be either. They just don't care. There's something about like, if the pussy's wet, I'll wear it type energy. If the pussy's wet, I'll wear it. Or if the dick's wet, I don't know. Like, there's something like that going on here. If it sounds familiar, it looked like so this person could be an air sign. I'm gonna say Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Oh, I heard somebody say, I don't even know what the fuck is real no more. Like, I don't know how these people are real. That's what I heard too. I don't know how these fucking people are real. I don't understand, like, what the fuck is up with this. It just doesn't add up. Oh, okay. Someone's doing like background research on someone, or like there's somebody around you doing background research on someone you're fucking around with. Could be your mother. Could be your fan, like your sister. Could be your sister's also talking to the same man that you're talking to, or your brother's talking to the same girl that you be talking to. I don't know, man. People be rolling the dice out here. People be rolling, because Jasenia got it. She understand what I mean. I don't think majority of the people that are in here right now, I know we got a small crowd, but I feel like you don't know who's behind you. Like, you don't know who's real. You don't know who in the family is real. You don't know whether your friends are real. You don't know who the fuck is real. That's what it feels like. Nobody. No one. That's what I'm feeling like. Like, I know there's a lot of cycles that some of y'all just wrapped up on. Those of you that chose to cut off possibly some family members. Cut off some family, or someone you were going to create a family with. They're talking about reading up on a type of mental illness that this person might have had. Like, I pick up on bipolar big time. Bipolar, or there's something to do with outbursts. I think that there's been a lot of neglect when it comes to your health, your mental health, your physical health, and you're just kind of getting back into it. Just like I see someone just dipping the toe into some help, in some type of way. It feels like physical help to me. Or like maybe someone's getting like a new tattoo or something like that, but there's something flashy going on here with how you're taking care of your body. Some of y'all ladies be using some scrubs or some shit. It's something new, because I got a smell in my, got a smell. There's Sweet smell, okay? But still, a smell nonetheless. Yeah, like, damn, someone got like, oh, someone's got like major, I don't know if it's like, it could be, I won't say this, it could be joint problems, could be back problems, right? But like, there's something going on here with the titties. Like, for some reason, they highlight the breast and the titties. They highlight the breast and the titties, and how you don't speak up about the problems that you have going on with your body, because you fear that like people might look down on you in some type of way, or that people might feel bad for you. You hate the pity shit. I feel like you're brawling. You always feel like, it always feels like you're brawling. Like you're not ready to like just bow down to whatever your body wants you to do. But it's like sometimes your body needs to take priority. Like, even though you're, you know, like I said, you on it with your mind. Like, you got the shit. You're intelligent. You have you have a lot of skill in communicating and talking with more vulnerable folks, vulnerable peoples. Feels like there's a lot of people that come towards you for basic help, life advice. Those of you that do physical labor as a job as well, there's a lot to that as well, like a lot of social things that you got. But I don't know why all of these things, all of these different things that you're trying to incorporate into your life are like in the way of you also taking care of yourself or your body. Because it doesn't feel like some of these things are so hands-on that you can't take time out for yourself. It's like, I don't know if it's like a wrong schedule type thing, or wrong, like maybe just wrong timing entirely. Maybe you're thinking the summer that you're going to like clear out a lot of this shit. But like, they really talking about your body, and like I said, I think the reason why they highlight the titties so much is because of your back. It's because your back in different pains that are going on. And some of y'all, you know, they talk about the feet as well being a primary, in which like some of y'all be walking, like you're not walking, you wobbling type shit. They be talking about that. So they talk about Leo season being a highlight of taking care of some of these problems. I feel like you're finally gonna patch yourself together. It just takes like you taking a time out, or almost. Oh, okay. I just felt something, right? You're gonna have a tower moment, right? And it's going to happen very fast, very quickly. I'm not trying to scare you, but it is going to be something that stops you entirely, possibly from working or from taking your time out for somebody else. It's some type of tower moment where it feels like it's like something's cracking in half. And I'm not going to say it's a literal physical problem or physical ailment, but I'm going to say it's something for sure that will slow you down from how fast your mind be moving. Like, it's some fucking crazy shit. It's some crazy shit, because man, if you just took 1 hour out of your goddamn day, I feel like all this shit would kind of start falling off of you. Some of y'all, it's like you need to replace something, not in your body, but around you, that you be relying on far too much. Some of y'all, they be talking about replacing sex toys. Those of you that aren't feeling like pleasure at all lately, or there's just a lack thereof, like there's nothing there, so you have to like do extra, or do like, you know, start drinking and shit like that in order to find pleasure in sex at all. They be talking about like, just buy some new shit, like invest in yourself, because they're gonna force you to do something though in Leo season. Like I'm telling you, summertime is gonna be crazy for y'all. It's gonna be fucking crazy. There's gonna be some force that comes through and just like I think it's like, it starts out really fucked up, where it starts out you feeling bad for yourself. It starts out with you kind of sitting there and brooding over a situation, but then it picks up and starts picking up like your body. You feel really fucking good. So like I said, those of you that have been worried, like, I don't know how long I'm gonna fucking last. I don't know, you know. I don't know how long I'm gonna last. I don't know if I can hold myself together with the duct tape any longer. I don't know. Seems like something's gonna be happening for you. Those of you that have like there's prominent, like, how do I say this? There's definitely prominent features with the women in y'all's family where I feel like some of this high adrenaline, high, I'm not gonna say high anger, it doesn't even feel like that, it's like just high frustration, high stress, it's high anxiety. Okay, I was looking for the fucking word. Some of y'all women in here, your mother and the mother before that and the mother before that all had the same thing that you deal with today on that anxiety level. Okay, that frustration / anxiety thing that you go through, where you go through like a fucking panic mode and it just overtakes your whole entire day and you got nothing done, instead of like being able to plan and plot on some like you can some days. It's like it just completely overtakes you and takes you down for that whole entire day basically, right? That they're saying that whatever this is something that's been in your family, and the only way that you're going to really tackle it, I see is going to the doctor. I don't think this is a thing where it's like therapy type thing where you have to go to therapy, because it feels like it's just something that is literal genetic. Of course, it's made worse by your environment, right? But at the end of the day, it definitely feels like it's something that you need to go to a literal doctor for, like somebody who's going to diagnose you with like no fucking mental problems, but a thing to do with like hormonal or something imbalanced in there. Okay, I mean, they might send you to a fucking psychiatrist or whatever, but like at the end of the day, you will be getting what you need in order to get rid of this problem, because having panic attacks over like simple and basic things like that's crippling, you know, that's crippling. You got, some of y'all might be getting money for in some type of way being crippled, or, you know, that could also be someone around you, but you could be getting some finances or some financial support from a program because there is problems going on with your anxiety, with your, like, I think it's something you have to pursue though. Like, you actually have to pursue it and go to the doctor and actually get diagnosed with these things in order for this to pull through. So if some of y'all been really struggling with waking up each and every single fucking day and going to work and dealing with this and dealing with that, like some of y'all need to take work off often, and some of y'all just switching jobs back and forth because you already know that at the end of the day, if you miss too much work, you're gonna be fired. You know, it just keep going back and forth. It's not fun. It's always stressful. It always feels like a fucking chore to wake up every single fucking day and do what you need to do. That was the people that I'm talking to. There's definitely imbalance there. Some of y'all that had children, or some of y'all, your body's in this like weird, they say that after you have your first kid that you usually go into a deep dark depression. There's also a thing about that. And some of y'all, even the loss of children right now is affecting you. So even if you lost a child quite a long time ago, you're feeling it still now. And that's something that, you know, can be worked out. Just, I think what you need is like to invite a new child side to your life in some type of way. Whether that's like starting up a hobby that kind of reminds you of like children, or some type of helping of kids, some type of helping of children, or helping of kids in some type of way. Just like, you know, I saw somebody doing like knitting or like making shirts or something like that. Something like that. Someone is really invested in child care, being able to take care of children. Could be babysitting as well. Ooh, someone's, yeah, so they're talking about Leo season again. They really want to put that forward. Those of you that are struggling with all the things that I've listed so far, for the most part, all of it, you're going to have a really big tower moment that forces you to change. Like I said, you feel stuck right now because your mind refuses to get out of this comfort zone that you've been in, even though there's even though this fucking comfort zone is basically killing you, right? The universe, or whatever the fuck you believe in, God, spirit, is gonna force this. It's gonna have to happen. So whatever happens, you know, it could even be traumatizing to an extent, but it's something that changes you for the better for the rest of your life. It has to. It has to happen, basically. And I'm not saying you won't feel that when it happens. I just got everyone scared. Everyone's like fucking clutching the seat. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? what do you mean? Oh my God, like, I've already been through so much. What you mean? Well, what I mean is, you stubborn. Okay, those of you that are earth signs, you already know what's up. We stubborn. Stubborn as fuck. Ain't nobody can change this unless we do. So that's what you gotta understand. It's like it all starts with you. It has to, because that's how fucking stubborn you are. And I understand, like, there's two different sides to the coin of earth signs, right? A lot of us have really horrible anxiety. It's life anxiety. It's like even living causes anxiety, because we are always obsessive about this, like plotting the next decision, plotting the next relationship, plotting the next job, and this, and it's control issues mostly. That's what we struggle with, right? Those of you who have earth signs in high places, you also know this. Okay, you also know that all of this control that you have over your life, you know, essentially it's going nowhere. Okay, you're just barely controlling it. That's what you got to understand. Like, these are you're like, well, you know, I feel comfortable here, but like I said, you're comfortable with suffering, right? So you're just sitting there and waiting for something to change around you, because you're not going to do it for yourself. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Something around you is going to change. It's going to kick you in the fucking hyperdrive. And I know it's going, you know, I know that sounds scary and that sounds like relentless in a way, but call me crazy, but I think all earth signs need some source of like extremity and chaos in order to see that they have to grow in certain areas, right? We need something so blatantly obvious because of how stubborn we are. We need to see all the positive and the pros, because usually we be looking at the cynical aspect. Let's be real. We be looking at all the cynical pieces of every single situation. It's hard. It's difficult. I feel like there's no one on our journey really that really understands anything about us other than us. Like, I can explain all these very general things about earth signs, but at the end of the day, like, we got some crazy ass stubborn problems and anxiety problems, and all of these things, they correlate to how your body is reacting and correlate to how your love life is being affected. Like, your love life, your body, your money, all of these things correlate. That's what you gotta understand. Your problems are the thing that's causing a lot of this shit to tank. I know there's for some fucking fucked up reason, earth signs believe that there's right timing, when time has nothing to do with it. Essentially, time has absolutely nothing to do with it. Not at all. Not at all. It's about changing now. Okay, there's some of you guys are going to start. You're going to meet a fire sign, or you're going to start meeting fire signs. And what you want to take from these people is they are they're our worst enemy. Okay, earth signs, to an extent, they represent everything that we literally need. Okay. We need to be less cynical. We need to power forward. We need to be more honest and open with how we're feeling on a physical level, on a physical scale. And a fire sign, or someone who has that passion, will bring that to the fucking table. Someone who has, you know, fire up in at least the first three, right? It's going to bring a lot of change, because they're going to light a fire under your ass. Okay? That's what's necessary. Some of y'all hate fire signs. You absolutely hate them. You absolutely hate them. Like, I can see here, you're like, why does God, or why does Spirit have to bring these annoying, naggy little motherfuckers towards me. Some of y'all, this is going to be a financial offer. Some of y'all, this is going to be an ex. And I'm not saying you got to deal with the ex. Maybe it's cutting off full communication with the ex. That needs to happen, right? But like I'm saying, it could be an ex. It could be a former friend. But whoever this person is, it feel like a repetition in a way, because I feel like the way you approached fire signs previously, it's going to change. I think the way that they approach life is something that you need to carry over to yours. It's something that you need to carry over to yours. That lighting a fire under the ass and being less cynical and far more, like, I guess, ambitious. I know we're ambitious, but we hold ourselves back though. We be telling ourselves, like, so we'll go in on a motherfucking project, but then we'll be telling ourselves, this is not good enough. This is not the best that I can do. Like, if you realize that and you know that, what the fuck do you need to do? Just fucking do it, right? Those of y'all that are really scared of investing money and time into yourself like that want to do creative projects and want to kind of explore yourself in that way, that's what needs to happen. You need to literally take a cut out of your motherfucking paycheck, okay, and put that towards you. Some of y'all, it's literally just as simple as buying y'all some new motherfucking products. Why do earth signs, and if you're not an earth sign, then hear me out, because you have earth strongly in your motherfucking chart. If you get what I'm saying here, why do we hold on to shit for so fucking long? I don't even realize that today. Like, the only things that I don't do that with really is clothing, but I will reuse the same motherfucking thing over and over and over again until that shit is a motherfucking, it's just done, gone. Like, that shit has to disintegrate before I stop using the shit. And it's not because I'm cheap or anything like that. It's more like, this is convenient, right? It's out of convenience for myself. I'm like, well, this is easier. And I already have a chaotic day. I can't add buying into whatever into the fucking schedule. It's like, why the fuck can't you though? Like, am I really that scared of simply replacing the motherfucking thing that I've had fucking forever? Like, don't I deserve that though? Don't I deserve that though? Like, well, I don't have the money, but you would if you would stop spending in certain areas. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. So fucking crazy. We be divas about shit. That's what it is. It's diva behavior. It's diva behavior. Hey, Emily. It's absolutely 1,000% fucking diva behavior. Yeah, it is comfort. Comfort is the problem. That is the main problem. It's not because we're too lazy to go out and buy this new thing. It's because we add on so much extra shit to our schedule that does not need to be there. We start doing things with our money that we do not even need to fucking do. It's almost like, think of it this way, like a bomb shelter, right? If I shouldn't say that on YouTube. It's like we building our own fucking bomb shelter. Like underground type shit. For no reason. Or think of the folks, think of the people, right? Think of the people that be preparing for the end of the world, right? For us, we're like, is that really too good to be true? Is that really stupid to believe? I mean, it could happen any day. We're like sitting there with like a tinfoil head on and shit. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's crazy behavior. It's crazy talk. It's crazy shit. It is out of fucking proportion. Out of proportion. Lord, my daughter's Gemini. She drives me crazy. I got Gemini pretty highly aspected, so I understand why that would be. But from the Gemini, if I switch over to the Gemini's perspective real quick and tell you how we look, you would be mad too at yourself. I think you would be mad too. Food banking in case the world ended. It's like, who the fuck does it? Like, why do we need to do that? That's extra as fuck. That's extra as fuck. The world can end any day and we can get slashed and killed and whatever. destroyed. We could be crushed, you know, crushed by a fucking meteor. Who the fuck cares? You know, we gotta live day by day, hour by hour, and enjoy the shit. Even if we be hating people, even if we be hating our situation, we gotta find little things to fucking enjoy that aren't, you know, maybe that aren't like alcohol and you know. You know, we gotta find other shit to fucking enjoy. We gotta stop fucking around like that. That shit is crazy to me. We every single fucking day is like, you know, oh my god, you know, I'm thinking about the future. It's so fucking stressful. I'm trying to plan this and this and this and this and that. I need to buy this house and do this and do this and sell this property and do this and do this. Why do we gotta do that in one day, bitch? Why do we gotta do that in one day? Can't we save one thing for today? One motherfucking thing? Like one thing. Yup, Gemini rising. So you actually do understand. You do understand why she's annoyed by you sometimes. Cause we are the most stubborn people on this planet. That's why. We be acting like every family member in one. What I get compared to all the fucking time is an old man. All the time. And I'm like, where the fuck were they? Like, what you mean I'm an old man? I'm not that stingy. And the next thing you know, I'm doing something fucking stingy. Well, what they view as stingy, but what I view is helpful. I'm like, well, I gotta take my time elsewhere. Just stop. I gotta let my mind rest. Sometimes I cannot believe the amount of stubborn behavior that we got. A lot of it is just obsessive because we want to live in the best way possible. And, you know, there's not a world that we can imagine ourselves not being the best of ourselves or perfect. Because the old mindset, baby, I'm 22 years old. I don't know what the fuck old mindset that I got. For me, it's like, I want to keep my money close to my chest. Yeah, I want to invest in myself. I want to grow a motherfucking business and do this and do that. These are all things that I'm working on, right? And I'll say I'm working on it till the end of motherfucking time, right? My control issues prevent me from saying, like, this is the best that I can do, that I can produce. That's what happens. That's the problem I run into. The biggest wall for me is myself by saying, this isn't the best that I can do, constantly. Like, goddamn, like, I fucking hate this shit, but I'm gonna put it out anyways. And then delete it. Delete. Critics. We're fucking critics. I'm fucking crazy. And ain't nobody can change us. Ain't nobody can change us. At all. There ain't nothing there to fucking change. The only person, like I said, that can change us is ourselves. That's the fucked up part. No matter, like, I've seen people break down and cry and grovel and beg for different outcomes in certain relationships, right? And yet, to me, I'm like, that's pathetic, right? Because you know that I'm never motherfucking changing. Because you already know, like, what's up. You already know what's up. Like, don't fuck around with that shit. That shit drive me insane. Don't start begging with the tears in the eyes. I don't feel bad for you. Shut the fuck up. People who understand that shit is like bread and butter to me. Like, if you get that reaction, you get that feeling, then you already know what's up. Yeah, they're talking about y'all being able to finally, I think, give into some of these more childish, not behaviors, but things that you've always wanted to do that get you giddy when you think about doing them. Like, you can imagine yourself doing them, but never ever want to, like, make the effort to step outside the comfort zone and actually do it because of that anxiety. They're saying that's coming up for y'all. It's going to be this summer for sure. Now, some of y'all, this is a romantic situation or friends with benefits situation. So some of y'all trying to cope possibly without having a solid and steady relationship. It is a competition with yourself. You're exactly correct. You're exactly right. Like, sometimes when I imagine that earthy energy too, like we're the only signs of the zodiac that have the capability of saying like, I know exactly what I am horrible at, and that's what we take at the forefront. We take the most cynical, fucked up thoughts about ourselves. I know exactly what I'm horrible at. So just because I know that, right, I don't make no motherfucking mistakes. Okay, I know exactly what I'm good at too, bitch. Like, cause I already know. There's this little rule book right here, filled with all these little fucking things that I cannot do, that I cannot be around, that I cannot stomach. All the things, like I said, that I'm horrible at. You know, I'm horrible at discretion. I'm horrible at lying to people. I have to be direct, and sometimes I come off as a piece of shit. I be hurting people's feelings and ignoring people's feelings, and I don't feel bad. Like, I be petty sometimes. Like, so many different little type of quirks, little type of things. And I think if you would just explain this sometimes to the people that you feel really don't get you, like even if you say that they already know, I don't think they do. I don't think they know where it comes from. So like, Miss Phyllis, when you be talking to your daughter, the Gemini, because Geminis are uber intelligent, you already know you got Gemini ascendant. She just like you, in a certain way, in a lot of ways, because Geminis do take over that whole chameleon effect from their parents, right? You already know. She knows what's up with you, and she already knows that you know what's up with her. But the place where it comes from, right? The anxiety that she brings you. That's what she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand the emotion behind it, or the anger, right? She don't understand the emotion. She don't understand that process. And if you was to explain that to her, I feel like she would be just a tad bit more understanding. They say we Capricorn are stuck up. That's how the world views Cap, but how we view ourselves is like humble, right? And I think we come from humble beginnings, but when we want what we want, we will step and stand on anyone who's in the motherfucking way. There is no, yes, we have morals. They're not loose morals either. They're very strong, very, very traditional. But at the same time, we're not going to feel bad for anyone who's not going to take a fucking stand and like grab a situation and take that shit. We will take it right out their motherfucking hands. You understand? Like, if they're not going to close their hand, we going to take it. This is what it is. That's a fair share. That's a fair game. We hate competition, but we participate in it all the fucking time. If you are not going to take a motherfucking stand on the situation, then we going to take it. Okay? A good example of that absolutely would be like in situations when you're dealing with someone romantic and they try to dip and dodge you or ghost you or breadcrumb you, give you little details about themselves, they become so boring to Capricorn. And because we get bored so fast, like I said, give it a week, bitch, give it a week, and we're done. Like, you understand that's frustrating. We're obsessive. Capricorns are obsessive creatures. And yeah, some people have their walls up pretty high. Capricorn has their walls up pretty high. But at the end of the day, we're obsessive creatures. We love to love. Just as any other fucking crazy ass attached motherfucker does. But the thing is, because of that, we also hate to be disappointed. So if you're gonna disappoint and cause trouble, then you gone. It's as simple as that. They fucking gone. Like, we love to love somebody who deserves to be loved, and what we view as deserving of love. Like, you kind of gotta fit that fucking description. Yeah, you gonna fuck up sometimes, but you better make that shit up. Like, if we tell you, like, you need to change the way you talk, your tone, change your tone, shift your tone over type shit, right? Shift that shit over, okay? Like, what you need to do is stop talking down to me. Because Capricorn's like that shit too. I know, y'all. What you need to do is shift your goddamn tone, like you know in everything. But Capricorn, you gotta understand that, like, also upon that, because we are pretty much the one sign in the Earth category that can put ourselves into other people's shoes, and we can feel
I think bad about some of our interactions with others, and we kind of take a lot of shit way too seriously, right? We grasp onto this idea that like everyone, since I take people seriously, they won't take me seriously. But that's just not it. That's just not it. Not at all. Like, you gotta understand, Capricorn, just because you coming through with a directness, like you talk about your ugly ass baby daddy and this and this and that, you tell them all the information, it does not mean that the person is gonna feel, inclined to give you any real information about themselves. In fact, Capricorns run into a lot of liars. We run into a lot of liars or people who over embellish, because these people have they like to have fun, and we don't like to have fun. Okay, we want the real thing. We don't like to have fun. We don't like to play. Okay, we don't like to play games like that. They know that. They like to play with serious people. It makes them feel important. And then at the end of the day, we end up the most hurt because, like I said, we're a little gullible. We're a little driven, okay? We get obsessed over somebody. We do. But like I said, that's where the petty shit starts taking over. That's where the petty shit starts coming through. Where, especially if the person hurt us badly, we hold a grudge until the end of time. There is not a moment that we forget our grudges. We will keep living our life, okay? We won't stop living, because that's pointless. That's worthless, right? That's worthless at that point. Like, why would you stop living for somebody else? Whatever. Like, you won't keep living your life actively. But you ain't never ever gonna forget what that dirty motherfucker did to you. How dirty they did to you. You ain't never gonna forget that shit. Okay, it's never gonna leave your system. That's why I be telling people recently, why do we have to forgive somebody? Why do we have to forgive anybody? Why do you gotta forgive someone for being a fucking idiot? Why do you gotta forgive? Like, why is forgiveness our main drive? Why can't we take that hatred and spin it into something that's beautiful, like our future, like our goals? Like, obviously don't carry it over into your next relationship. But I'm saying, if a fire under the ass, right, from somebody you absolutely hate, like, why can't you turn it, spin? We always be cynical and turning nasty shit into good shit. Like, that's what we always do. That's what Capricorn and Scorpio do. Okay? The death and the devil. We a pair up in this bitch. Especially if we got Capricorn and Scorpio up in your chart. You know what the pettiness does, right? But like, that's also what makes you triumphant, right? That's why you rise above. It's not the forgiveness that we look for, okay? It's the overcoming piece, overcoming that part of yourself, or overcoming that gullible shit that you just been through, that you just fed to somebody. Overcoming that. We don't gotta forget it and forgive it. Cause that's a part of you. That was a part of you. You should fucking remember the shit. Especially so that you don't repeat the shit. And of course we always be getting repetitive people though. But it is what it is. Okay? You gotta fight against the shit. Remember how someone hurt you. You do. You do. You gotta remember how someone hurt you. There's no like we try to be like, well, there's no value in that information because all people are different. Da 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 da. But in that same fucking breath and of emotion, babe, you gotta understand. There's a reason why certain things within certain types of people trigger you. There's a reason why you have triggers, babe. It's because you can't deal with someone like that. And in order to communicate that with someone else, you gotta stop trying to forget what people have done to you. You have to look at it from that fucking, intellectual perspective that Miss Jasenia was talking about. Look at it from the outside perspective. You got to. I'm sorry, but that's the only way you're gonna move on. The only way that you're gonna start finding new people who are worthwhile, okay, is if you look back on that hurt. You gotta look back on that hurt. I'm sorry, like, do not forget that. Those are lessons. Those are the advice that you're looking for. You know, you be coming to all the tarot readers and the psychics and this, and you got your own cards and this and this and that, and talking to spirit. Like, you got to sometimes look at the fucked up shit, the fucked up situations that you've been through, that you've gone through, in order to consume the pieces and parts of those situations to help you grow, to help you expand. You know, actually find someone who gets you, who loves you genuinely, who can listen to you when you talk about your triggers and not even be fucking phased. You know, if they do trigger you, it's a one and done conversation and they never do that shit again type shit. It's like someone who's attentive, someone who's a listener. You're going to find a lot of those people are actually going to be fire signs. I'm going to be real with you. But they are, you know, of course, if you're dealing with someone who's childish, they're going to bring up certain aspects in order to trigger you. But that's childish behavior. Those are childish people. Excuse me. Those are childish people. They got nothing to do with the type of person that I'll be talking about. Someone who will sit there because they love you and listen to you, right? Someone who will like take your trauma and take your pain into consideration when they speak to you, when they talk to you. They're not gonna walk on glass, of course, right? They're gonna still treat you the same, give you that same humor, give you that same intimacy, give you that same, you know, like, you know, they gonna rizz you up and shit, make you feel good about yourself. But at the same time, like I said, they just remember, you know, when they are approaching a certain type of conversation, when they are approaching a certain trigger for you, maybe they don't act on that impulse. Maybe they don't do that, right? That's the type of person you need to be looking for. Like I said, I see a fucking fire sign. They keep talking about this. Aries, Leo, and Sag. They keep talking about this person. They probably do have Earth incorporated into their chart. I'm not going to say that it's the top 3. Maybe it's the moon. But I'm going to say the Earth sign is actually incorporated into the Venus. Okay? The Venus. For some reason, what I heard, right? And they might have Virgo up in their Venus or something like that. I heard something about the Venus know what to do with a penis or whatever. Like, so maybe it's the sex that kind of like brings y'all back down to earth. Maybe sex triggers you. That might be it too. You might have a lot of sexual trauma. Maybe sex triggers you. Or maybe it's something that like you've always been kind of like addicted to. You can't enjoy it. That's what I was talking about earlier. Those of you that need to like buy some new shit in order to please yourself. There's triggers here, right? There's different triggers. And what this person or what this person or what this tower moment is going to come in and do for you is change your outlook on all of these situations. It's going to change you for the better, even though at first it's going to feel like, you know, everything, oh my god, you're going to have like a what do they call it, a universal moment. Not a universal moment, it's a breakdown moment. What is it called? They call it a I don't remember. Just not right this minute. Capricorn are very sexual people, of course. We rule sex addiction. We rule addiction. We have a very large sexual appetite. But even so, and then Taurus also ruled by Venus, they also have a very well-pronounced sexual appetite. It's a matter of self-control that you're going to only experience when you find the one, when you're able to wait on enacting the sexual experience, when you're going to change and not change yourself and change what you like, but change how you approach sex into a healthy position versus constantly fucking banging one out type shit. Like, you know, I think that I've dealt with sex addiction my whole entire life so far. I'm gonna be real. Is to conquer that, right? To conquer that piece of yourself. It's not about being celibate though. Those of y'all that are like going on the fucking fast and shit like that. Like some people like intimacy. You know, some people just like the physical intimacy, not just sex. They like the physical intimacy piece, right? That's what Cap likes. We so freaks. Yeah, she said it. She be talking. Look, she be talking facts. Yes, and I talk about, actually on this channel, I talk a lot about the post-nut epiphany. You know, how some people go through regrets, other people go through like moments of adrenaline and satisfaction, but like that gets your mind ticking and thinking, right? Back to what I was talking about earlier, what sex brings out for us is that giddiness, that release of control to an extent. No, we still controlling up in the bedroom, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, you know, we still know we got that oomph, right? But it lets you just let go of all this crazy ass obsessive controlling behavior that you got outside this bedroom. It's hard for that to be, you know, it's hard to explain that, I guess, to someone who's outside of the system in the situation, because all they really view us as is like sex addicts or people who can't, you know, like I said, we can't hold ourselves back. It's like if we're attracted to someone, we gonna say we're attracted to someone, and we gonna enact on that fucking attraction, especially that person makes it available, right? Unless like I said, unless it's like a situation where the person is dirty, disgusting, or just annoying, and you're like, I don't want to give nothing out to you, like you're fucking rat, you're fucking mess. Like, we have charm, we have quality. I'm just saying, we care about where we put our shit. I can't. It brings out a giddiness and a childishness, right? And that's what you need. That's literally what I'm saying when I say you need a fire sign in your goddamn life. That's what you need. You need to let go. You need to de-stress. And it does not have anything really to do with sex, but intimacy, absolutely. Positive intimacy, like a hug and a kiss and a little touch. A little touch, a little something. Intimacy could even be in the means of intellectual experience. You know, you find people you find a group even that gets along with you on an intellectual skill and intellectual, phenomena. Chemistry is absolutely a must. Absolutely. Chemistry is absolutely a must. Brain chemistry. Some of y'all gonna find that with it. I'm gonna say I heard squirt the perp. Hold on a second. Let me look this up for uno momento. Let me see. Scorpio. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even need to fucking look it up because it's the first thing that popped up. Scorpio in the 8th house. I actually have that placement. That's what I was looking at. I actually have that placement. And let me tell you something. The amount of it's a fixation problem of jealousy, right? It's not even like you control it in that means. Like, anyone could do whatever the fuck they want. They could wear whatever the fuck they want. They could talk to whoever the fuck they want to talk to. But the jealousy piece that pulls in for me always laxes at if a person has too much space. I can't predict, and I don't know what they're gonna do. Y'all understand what I mean? What I'm saying? What I'm laying down? What I'm putting down? Virgo's the same motherfucker as what I just said. Virgo is the same motherfucking word. And Virgo, a lot of Virgos have this. They have fire signs highly active up in their shit, and it makes them very, very temperamental. Like I said, the jealousy does pull through. Very picky, but also contradicting. Heavy contradiction. Because when they like somebody, they don't know how to react. They don't know how to react. It's constant back and forth. It's like I'm gonna say something. I'm dealing with a Virgo right now. It's like dealing with a brat. It's like dealing with kids sometimes. And to me, that feature is a creature that can be tackled in other directions. Okay, that feature can go die in a hole somewhere. But it's like it takes patience, it takes time, it takes sensitivity and communication. Territorial, absolutely 1,000%. Yes, territorial for sure. For sure. Petty and territorial. Scorpio, Virgo, Capricorn. We all in the same mix-up. For sure. But yeah, no. Scorpio, though, I want to get back to that. He said this Virgo had to go. I can't with you. So, like I said, Scorpio, that particular placement, Pluto. Okay, when we talking Pluto, when we talking the colder shit, when we talking the darker shit, when we talking death, and when we talking the person who we gonna end up with and die with, that is something that Capricorn and Scorpio have in common. They have that in common. Okay, like to death do us part type shit. You know what I mean? And the reason why I think that's applicable is because as we mix in with some of these potential relationships out here, potential partners, those of you that do pay attention to the chart, pay attention to some of these people and where Scorpio might lie. Okay, because I feel like if once you guys start understanding and breaking down the chart system, like what certain planets mean, I think it's going to be very easy for y'all to find. And usually I'm against that, right? Usually I'm against at looking at a person's chart and being that, you know, sometimes people view that as toxic. But like once you learn that information, it's like a click and go. You're going to instantly kind of recognize the repetitive traits that you start seeing within certain folks that line up with the type of behaviors that you absolutely cannot stomach, that you cannot stand. Okay, that make you want to throw up in your fucking mouth. Those of you that haven't yet studied it or like kind of briskly looked over it, you're going to see the patterns. It's not that sun sign that be triggering you. It's the whole rest of the lot that y'all got to look for. The repetition. Because there's a repetition that happens for all of us in different cycles. All signs, I mean. In different cycles in which we target the same person that is the problem. Because we know it's the problem. We know we got to jump over them. We want to try to do better on the next one and on the next one and on the next one. We take laps around the same types of people because like it's in our conscious, it's a self-conscious thing where it's like I didn't do or say what I needed to say to this motherfucker before I left, so I gotta take it out on another motherfucker, and we don't even really realize that's the type of chemistry that's going down sometimes. But like what you start seeing is the narcissistic individuals. You start seeing the controlling narcissistic. They control through trying to hurt themselves, trying to hurt others, drinking, smoking, whatever. They have mediums. Okay, they have mediums, and when I say mediums, I also heard you a medium, so you already understand this shit. But that's what sometimes be happening. Is that narcissistic pattern, because there's a whole load of I think cycles that we continue to fulfill through each and every single person that we meet. And so the right person come around is impossible unless you break those cycles. But if you keep repeating the same shit over and over and over again and being attracted to the same types of motherfucker over and over and over again, the toxic traits, it's just going to keep going. He said, what about crybaby cancers? Well, Cancer, you really don't have that same issue. Like, you do have high Capricorn highly aspected, Isabella, but the problems that Cancer runs into is the naivety piece. It's not, you guys are not, like, y'all are sensitive, right? Y'all are sensitive. Y'all are absolutely sensitive. Y'all have a lot of qualities of like psychics and that, because you guys come in touch with all sides of the spectrum when it comes to empathy, being an empath, right? Cancers have that issue with naivety. They like to say things like, for example, if I'm telling, like Capricorn, because remember, Capricorn is the opposite, boo. So, I mean, Capricorn is our sister sign. Or Capricorn is Cancer's sister sign. Remember that. But y'all be saying that same motherfucking thing that Capricorn be saying. That if I'm telling it to them straight, if I'm telling them the motherfucking truth, then they have no reason to lie to me and tell me the truth. You know, I be talking about all my dirt. You know, it's like, what you gotta understand is people will tell you dirt, but they will miss out on the most important bits of that dirt. Like, you know, they've been talking about their horrible relationships and horrible situationships and horrible family and this and this and that, but they'll totally dodge out on the fact that they're married still. Totally dodge out on that fact. Totally. Just totally mystified, right? By the time you figure out that bitch is taken or has a partner or has this and has that. Because it takes consistency and not jumping on somebody, Cancer. You gotta go through the consistent communication and stop jumping on people and riding people's emotions type shit. Because they are on an emotional roller coaster. You just don't know where that bitch is going. It's like you want to be able to be like, well, I get you, I understand you. You want to tell people that consistently. But sometimes understanding somebody is exactly the problem. You shouldn't understand some of these nasty ass behaviors within some of these nasty ass people. That's just the truth. Yeah, we got a whole Cap squad up here and Cancer squad. What about Gem? Since I'm more Gemini, Gemini is different. Gemini is an air sign. Gemini is different. Gemini has the qualities of a safe intellectual is what I'm going to call it, because a lot of people view Gemini as being two-faced and is somewhat a people pleaser, right? But the way I see Gemini is they have many masks, because many people out here are too fucking stupid to understand them. It's like, if you dealing with a box of stupid people, you're not going to show your real self or your true self to a box of stupid people, right? That's just the truth. Like, you're not going to sit there and communicate with the stupid people just to communicate with the stupid people, like some people can. Sagittarius will do that all motherfucking day, entertain them fucking stupids, because they're like, you know, it is what it is. Maybe I can learn something from it. But yeah, no, Gemini is absolutely the type of person who chameleon effects. Chameleons, I mean, all air signs do that. All air signs do that. It's the chameleon effect. We're like, okay, we're gonna act natural in public, but at the end of the day, we're gonna be very alone. Lonely people, lone traveler, lone cowboy. We battle a lot within ourselves as the twins, which, I mean, for the most part, all two-part signs, right? Pisces, Cancer, you know who you are, battle themselves profusely. They don't stop battling themselves, but at the same time, you know what things to you know what mind issues, and you know what things to lean into. You know what choices to lean into at the end of the day, whether you know it's morally kind of or it's a situation where you know you shouldn't put all your energy towards that one thing. Gemini's just not the type of people to be putting all their eggs in one basket. I'm sorry, those of you who are dealing with Gemini on some type of romantic level, or if you struggle to understand yourself a little bit, then also in your Gemini, then also understand the fact that your mind only learns through these situations that you try to I think, what's the word? Fuck. You try to not control them. It's not even control, because you just let that shit go off the motherfucking handle sometimes. It's boredom. I guess it would be boredom in some types of ways. Even though I don't believe that y'all are that, damn it. thinking these goddamn words is difficult because I'm still high right now. I'm still high. I can't believe I'm still high. That's kind of crazy. Usually it runs out real quick. Lost my chain of thought. We'll get back. Indecisive or going with the flow. You know, we're going forward no matter what happens. Exactly. But I think there's another step to that. I guess the other step would be that, especially if you have a family that you do love, people in your family, in your life that you do love, you know, those of you that are kind of like the loner types, you would rather sacrifice yourself and the good things that you have in order to support the people around you. And sometimes that is your ending. You understand? Like sometimes that ends you. Sometimes that destroys you. Sometimes being so self-destructive and giving to the people that, like I say, you love them, but do they love you? You want to be able to control someone's emotions and emotional reactions to you by giving to them, right? You keep giving in the same over and over and over again, and it's a lot every single time, and yet, you know, you think that's going to somehow change people's reaction and people's expectations with you. It's heavy. I mean, it's really Gemini deals with hella like thoughts about, you know, if I wasn't here, I wonder if these people would even miss me, type shit. I wonder if these people would even feel me, if they would miss me, if they would, you know, come to accept me and come to see me for who I was. Because Gemini always goes through life with this understanding that nobody understands me truly. Right? Nobody can get in touch with who I am. Not even another fucking Gemini. It's the same shit that be happening to each air sign for the most part. Libra is the same. Aquarius is the same. People misuse me, and Gemini misuses themselves. Right? While you are useful to somebody, right? You can't try to save everybody. While you might feel useful to somebody, you might feel like you can help them and do something, that doesn't mean they're going to accept that help, or they're going to take that hand, and that they're going to, you know, continue forward like you are. They cannot be like you. You gotta understand, because people don't understand you, they also cannot be like you, and they can't even be similar to you, right? And that's the problem. Like, you start seeing all these similar things, is because they try to mirror you. They try to act like you. They try to act inventive. They try to act intelligent. They try to act smart, because they know that's the way to get into your head. They know that that's the way to control and to implant themselves in your head. They take advantage of that. Of the fact that you are desperately looking for someone who understands you out in this bitch. They take advantage of that. But here's, I guess, here's how to dodge that though. That's why I love Gemini. I love Gemini because there's so many different pieces and parts of y'all that interest me. Especially that like reverse psychology type shit that y'all be doing. I love that. I love that. I enjoy it. I enjoy that y'all can play a really, really good Joker sometimes. That's why I'm going to say a Joker. Because it's not that y'all is crazy. It's that y'all act crazy. And then you could literally turn your motherfucking head and just go straight face. You're like one moment you're like, that's so funny. And you're like, oh my God, it's so hilarious. You guys are so great. Oh my God, I love you so much. Oh, I love you so much. I love you so much. Drifting off and shit. I fucking, in your mind you say, I fucking hate you guys. I can't fucking stand you. But your mouth be saying, oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love you still. In your mind, I fucking hate these people. I hate them so fucking much. Why you gotta be so fucking difficult? Why you always gotta do this and do that? Dumb as fuck, but me saying I love you so much, you make me so happy. Exactly. That's exactly the shit I'll be talking about. No matter what chart I'm looking at, Vedic or Western, both my charts have heavy Gemini riddled all throughout them. Gemini and Taurus go back to back to back on shit. Like my whole Vedic chart is fucking, it's a taut, like this fucking, I think the whole top half of the chart is covered in Taurus. And then there's Cap, and then there's Aquarius Mercury, and then there's Libra Mars and Vedic. What else we got? Gemini North Node and Sagittarius South Node. Love it. Love it. Because it makes me, genuinely, my Gemini pieces, they make me more comfortable with doing shit like this. Speaking and reaching out to other people who might feel similarly or the same as other people, and bringing them together, gluing them together. I take a little Elmer school type shit. You got me giggling, kick my feet, you make me blush so hard. No, I'm on my back, and what you mean Patrick position? And I just farted. Literally the exact opposite of what you said you was doing. Yeah, that is jam. That is jam. But you don't lie, like you just lie to. It's not even lies, really, I guess, because you can be doing both things at the same time, I guess, in your mind, because there's two people up in that bitch sometimes, you know? Sometimes you gotta just tell that other bitch to calm down. Call that other bitch up in your mind and be like, hey, chill out, relax. Libra Sun, Scorpio Moon, Sag, right? We're getting some folks tonight that have that same energy. If you want, Cassie, you're new, correct? I don't think I've ever seen you up in here, so you can post a question, sure. Western Gemini placement, our Venus and Lilith. Yeah, so you love that way. That's the way that you love. 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. There's a cold bit side of you that wants to look at it as a transactional relationship, and then there's the side of you that wants to believe that love is out there in some type of way. You hold on to those, ideals that push you into being more of a I almost say a traditional letdown. When I'm almost say you hold on to the ideals that you feel or think would make you happy, but end up shocking and surprising yourself in the end, because the exact person usually that you feel like, oh my god, I could never be with this motherfucker, they're too annoying, this way, that way, they care way too much about me, and you keep pushing them away 99% of the time. That's the person you're going to end up with. Is literally the person that you feel most triggered by, because they are trying to come into your boundaries. And homie, your boundaries are too tall. Too tall. It's not that you be making people do too much work. It's just naturally you guys have this ability to evade and avoid. And someone needs to they need to out manipulate you. Outplay you. It's like checkers beat chess. They need to outplay you, outrule you. They need to shut you down when you're doing dumb shit like that. 99% of the time, that will absolutely be either a earth sign, right? An earth sign, or I guess you could say a Sag, but sometimes Sag is too lighthearted for Gem, because Gem will break it down. A Gem will tell it like it is. Maybe a little too late, maybe wait till they blow up, but they will. I'm thinking I got a bad mental illness, but telling my therapist, yeah, I got astrology birth chart problems, I can't help it. I think the biggest mental illness as a whole for all signs, all signatures, is, well, I'm going to say all earth signs, is that we don't feel like we're alive. We have to do things to stimulate our minds. And so if we aren't stimulated, we just don't feel like we're alive. We don't feel like we're even living in the first place. Like, there's no enjoyment to life. That might sound dark and fucked up, and it is, but if you're not out here breaking your ass and pushing yourself forward and going forward on your career and doing what you dream of, because the dreamers are all land and air. What the fuck are you doing, right? We gotta make purposes. We gotta make goals. We gotta make goals, and sometimes we gotta risk it all. We gotta fucking risk it all. When they make a move on me, pursue me. Oh, okay. Yeah, and we try to numb the pain out of fear a lot of the time. Fear of forgetting who you were and not who you're supposed to be. Alright. Turn up my music a little bit. Well, he make a move. That disorder is not a joke. That disorder is not a fucking joke. I'll talk about that in a second, Cassie. Cassie, Isabella. Jesus. I had that disorder. I was diagnosed 3 years ago now. Or no, 2 years ago. 2.5. We getting close here. Okay, so seems like Nate is looking for new things. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see Nate necessarily being in his romantic mind when he be looking at you. It seemed like he just want that booty. Okay. It seemed like he just want that booty. I mean, I'm gonna be real. He said your ass is fat. He said your ass is fat or your titty fat or something like that. And I know that sounds gross, but like that's what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm literally looking at a dude on some of these cars looking at titties. I think that it's hard for him to make a judgment right now as far as whether he likes you or not, because I think there's a huge pot of self-sabotage here, Cassie, in which he believes that like you would never really fall for a guy like him. You would never be into a guy like him. You gotta stop dealing with those insecure dudes, Cassie, because I see that being repetitive for you. You deal with such insecure people. I know you're not the most secure individual, but you also know that you're attractive. You also know you can pull whatever the fuck you want to pull. At the end of the day, you gonna take a shot type shit with a flirtatiousness, because I see you do little flirts here and there, and you try to make yourself look available and beautiful and this and that. Mostly doing it for yourself, but also trying to attract that thing, that fling, that mate. But I think that this is a little bit too fast for whoever this dude is, because like I say, he has quite the ability to self-sabotage other people's view of him. He's quite submissive as well, and I think that's the appeal, is like there's also somebody else who is maybe a little bit more tame, because you yourself feel tame. You want some... Cassie, don't make the mistake of trying to go after somebody who you feel has their shit together. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you try to go after like a father or a dad type or paternal type. It's like you're trying to do that, right? And you're not even really doing it necessarily on purpose. It's not even like a traditional thing. It's more of like a you're thinking way too far into the future. Okay, you want someone who's going to know how to treat you correctly, who's not going to dance around glass when they're trying to talk about issues and problems with you. You need to look for somebody who can I think tell it to you straight, but also be aware of your feelings and your emotions. So even though they're a little bit softer with their delivery, they still like, you know, they tell it to you straight. They're like, hey, you know, Libra, listen, I cannot stand when you da 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 da. Like, you need someone who's going to be straight with you and a little bit soft. And I'm gonna tell you, that person more than likely is going to be a fire sign. A fire sign. A fire sign. Because you also need someone who's gonna help you have fun. Explore. I think that whatever part you end up with is also someone you're going to be traveling or leaving the state with or leaving the city with. Whoever you end up linking up with is going to take you on a motherfucking ride. And that's it. I just mean in a long term. It seemed like an Aries. Maybe possibly someone who's younger than you. Someone who has more of a emotional, I think, connection with they might be a mama's boy. They could only have a mom or something like that. Mama's boy. You know what? It could be also another Libra. It could also be another Libra that you run into too. But I don't know. Could be another Libra with Aries high aspect. Interesting. Let's see what happens. But like I said, it does seem like he's looking at that ass. He see that body, and he into that. That's his first instinct, is to fuck you. Not really to get mixed into the emotional bits. So stupid. I don't even do this. I'm sitting here using my time, getting a little bang for my butt. I don't even use this as a motherfucking business. I'm just fucking having fun. I had a reading done years ago. She said the same thing, spot on. Okay. Like I said, it's a traveling man. It's someone who's gonna take you out. You can take you on nice dinners. It's the type of nigga that's gonna take you to like fucking Sweden and shit. And I think that it's gonna be like a collaboratory experience. I think experience where y'all can like enjoy life outside of what your family and what your restraints are. Right? It's like, I think a lot of the time with the traditionality that was instilled within you, the certain traditions, that this is how you continue to consistently live your life. You continue to drive in a direction that is very linear, when in fact, internally, you're not a linear person at all. You want to go crazy. There's something screaming in there that's like, you need to fucking get out and get jiggy with it. You need to get out there and start traveling. You need to start moving around. You need to start, adapting different cultures and looking into different religions. Like, there's that part of you in there that you try to keep suppressed and hidden from other people because you don't want them to see you as someone who's crazy, right? You're like, well, I'm too old to be acting like. It's like, no. You're not. There are people out there like you. There is a man out there like you that does want to travel the world and do some crazy shit. Go take a fucking ice bath in fucking Alaska and shit like that. Like, there's people like that. Just take it slow, Cassie. Take it slow. I'm not saying that's a big ask, because I do think you deserve it. I'm saying that it's a situation where I think you need to start accepting the fact that you want more out of a man, not just some boring straight lace, tie your shoelace type ass nigga. You want more out of me. Be real. Yeah, they say a man who can loosen you up a little bit.
course, Cassie. Yes, I am. I am from New York. I'm in upstate. I am not from the city. I ain't no city dog. I'm not saying all these dogs. I'm just saying. Why did you think I was from New York? I get that California either it's from LA, California, or it's directly from the city is what people usually think. I just think that's because my mind is well traveled. City boy, city dog. So you said something about BPD and that is something that like I was saying, I was diagnosed with it about, I'm gonna say 2.5 years ago. I'm not sure on the direct month, but I know we coming up on a little bit of a journey anniversary type shit this year. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. How blood you are, the way you dress, it's not like Cali. I'm from Florida, okay. I know a lot of Floridians too. Y'all could be similar. Miami people can be similar to that New York drive. Y'all try to maintain. I think that's the reason why I picked that up from you as well, Cassie. That little thing where you try to like maintain a good image and a good standing on the outside, but it's like everybody knows you're a freak on the inside. It's just like it takes a certain type of person, a certain type of individual to bring that out of you. So it makes sense. I think that's also why it's necessary for us to get the fuck out of where we're at. I'm actually trying to come down to Florida, to be honest with you, and enjoy the journey a little bit. There's so much work around there, so much opportunity. I don't think I would stay there for long. That shit is. Sometimes it also reminds me of up here as well. So just going to try to diagnose me and see what we can do, or see if I'm just extremely traumatized. I mean, CPTSD runs in with BPD as well, so it could be there, Isabella. It could be there. It could be either. Either way, it's going to take years and years for you to try to iron this shit out. And you will. You will. Right under Tampa. My mother lives in Jacksonville. Usually when I be going to Florida, it's like, is it just a fun? It's not even really a fun place to. It's not a fun place to vacation in. You know, people are always like, depending on what you do in Florida, you could have the best time or the worst time type of shit. You could have the most boring shit happen or whatever, like, because it's spread out. But like, I don't know. When I see Florida, like I said, I see opportunity because so many fucking motherfuckers are moving down there. When so many buildings being built, it's getting saturated and overpopulated because it is cheaper to live than some other places, like New York, for example. Our prices are fucking insane. But yeah, I want to live down there for a little bit. They got a cool, like a real cool spiritual vibe down there. I think it's just the ocean. The ocean gives me a weird ass energy. Oh, I like that weird shit. The rate is going, of course, expected, of course. So y'all probably gonna be like,
similar to the prices here eventually. I'm gonna say it's gonna take like 2 to 3 years, but it's gonna fucking blow. It's gonna blow. There's way too many people going down there. I think a lot of it is just they're building way too many properties, and they're not even building them in great places. Like, the whole point in kind of living and liking Florida is the fact that everything's not close together. You know, you gotta take a motherfucking drive to get there. You do have your own space. Like, what I value is my own yard, having my own fucking land, my own landscape. I don't like that fucked up. Like, living the building to building. You gotta look at your fucking neighbor scratching his dick out in the yard and shit. I don't fuck with that. Because human beings are just disgusting. I'm trying to live in Italy. Sicily, where my homies and my family be at. Like, I'm not trying to fucking live there. That's also exactly what I was talking about with the close together shit. You take things as a joke, maybe it's bad, but I do. Well, I mean, as long as you're not taking your own life as a joke. I struggle with those things too. Excuse me, y'all. I don't need to have a little acid reflux. I'm gonna take it home, try to settle down. So I said, for all aspects, I've been in a good path and moved it. Okay. Let me find some music real quick. Found some. I was almost there about relapse like 2 weeks ago. My mom was there, so I don't know. Did she come to all of those appointments with you? At least you were, but you was comfortable enough to be honest, which is really good. Still, even if it was in front of your mom. Let's see. I'm doing good, but I know I'm in a funky energy. It's not that there's really an issue with a problem. I think the roller coaster energy. You say you just got back on meds. A roller coaster energy kind of takes a couple of months to iron out. Like, especially if you come out of that depression and it's been hitting you for months. She wasn't even reading my body language. I said it was on the top of my damn mind. She probably is. She probably just gets you and understands you. Okay. They say spoiled. They said becoming an adult, a big girl type shit. They said becoming a big girl type shit. They be talking about growing up. Well, it's hard. Okay, they talk about it's hard for you not to tackle superficial issues first. Okay, so they talk about superficiality, right? And they talk about how maybe sometimes in therapy or sometimes when you're communicating with people, you don't tell them what's directly wrong. You more or less like to dance around a little bit. You know, you like to sit on what you really feel and what you really think. And I feel like you've been really on the edge on whether you should tell certain people, like really what the problem is. I'm not talking the surface level bullshit. I'm talking directly what the problem is. Because I think you know and that I know what the fuck is up. I think both of us know why you tend to dance around these things too. And I know it's because you don't want to hurt people's feelings. It's because, you know, love definitely applies, but it's also a part of the reason why your depression always feels like it's like a heat-sinking missile in the back of your mind. You know, it kind of takes down all your ideas and all your, like, you know, you're happy, but there's always a but to that. You're like, I'm happy, but I could be happy, or but I could do this. I'm happy, but, like, it's always like that, and no one is ever going to be just directly straight out happy. If they tell you that, they lying to you, or they're crazy and that shit. I was right, and they just murdered someone. But comfort is a thing, and I don't think you feel fully comfortable, even though you feel better, right? I don't think this is the result that you're really looking for. I think the result that you want is just comfort, and you just can't sit here and find it, right? I think you're in a position of like, I could really care less, you know, about all the people that are fucking, you know, going through these issues around me, like the, you know, your mom's issue and that. You know, I'm gonna say that because I want to make it clear that a lot of this isn't even supposed to include you in the first place. Has nothing to do with you in the first place, and yet somehow you end up dragged in between that anyways. Okay, somehow you end up dragged anyways. That just doesn't make sense, right? There are certain conversations that I think that you're going to be able to talk to your therapist and then kind of come out with to your mother, okay, and your family. Because there's some, you know, to me, it feels greedy to me, right? It's like, okay, so these people can barely stake a claim in their own life, and that they're having you do their dirty work. Some people need to learn how to set boundaries. I think it just takes so much energy out of you. It takes so much time away from you. Now, I'm gonna pat you on the back for all the shit that you've been doing and been going towards as far as your healing goes, because I don't think that's a bad thing. I think what you're doing with therapy, that's beautiful. I think what you're doing with trying to exercise, work out, putting yourself in like a better mood with the adrenaline and shit, I think that's great. Those are the pieces and the parts that are really, really like helping you glow a little bit and helping you gain a little confidence. But my worry comes from the position of, you know, when you do gain that confidence in this situation, keeps shooting you back down. It just keeps shooting you back down. And I think also that's why you need that little retail work. That little job. I think like you need space away from, like you need an environment and a space away from her. And I know work doesn't seem like the best bet, but at the end of the day, like once you start getting your money in and start wanting to invest in yourself in different ways and improvement on your body, improvement on your, you know, whatever you want to buy with clothing and dress and all that, I think it's just going to change the game up. I really do. I think that you're going to become a lot more forward and a lot more honest. It's going to be heavy hitting on the surface. You're going to see people break down. You're going to see people cry in response. You're going to see people maybe even get a little catty in response. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to understand what you mean. Because even though you say that, you know, even though when I set boundaries, I don't think you directly put forward the issue. I still think you dance around it because you're afraid of that reaction. And it's not necessarily always that you're afraid of hurting someone. It's also that you're afraid that they're going to hurt you, and that's a trauma response. That's a trauma response. 10 to 15 hours a week, you still getting that dough though. You still getting that dough. That's for sure some PTSD type shit. You're afraid to be punished for speaking out what you feel. This is why you're so introverted at times, and this is also why you try your best not to I think hurt other people, is because you're afraid to be hurt yourself. Whether it's like shit talking, yelling, whatever, whatever the situation entails, you're afraid that you're gonna be hurt, And I know that it kind of seems like childish, or that's in your subconscious, like I gotta put that past me, but that's so fresh still. These are fresh fucking memories, or just fresh emotions. Very, like, this shit runs high. It runs heavy. Yeah, they talk about it runs high. Then we talk about like hot water, particularly. They said something about hot water, or like burning yourself. I feel like if I speak, it always turns out that I'm a bad guy, especially when I was a child, like it was my fault. And irresponsible adults typically do that when they feel guilty, they feel like shit, they feel like they are, once they start feeling guilty over their situation and projecting onto you, then they punish you right back for it. It's just to make sure that you know that, like, I can do whatever I want to you or with you. I have control over you. And it also comes from a place of, this is the only thing that they have control over, though. They don't have control over their marriage, the dog, the trash, the cleaning, the cooking, all this, their life. They don't have control over the grays that they got coming out their heads, the bald spots and shit like that. But what they do or did have control over was you. That's what's up. And so that's why that projection is so fresh still. It's like she feels that, or certain people feel that they still have control over you. And to release that or fight against that might even mean that you don't have the greatest relationship for a second with mom. But you're going to need to resist just going right back to whatever it is. Like, she got to realize at some point that you're not that desperate. Okay, you're not desperate to be abused or put in a position of like too much, too hard to handle. But like, she needs that boundaries because you are her kid, but also because even if you weren't her fucking kid, if you were her best friend, like she, be treating you, ain't nobody want to hear some of these things. Everybody going through something. And especially because you're closer to her, it's like, okay, so I see all these things from the outside, but I can't give you advice. I can't tell you how to live or what the fuck to do. Like, you're supposed to be the grown-ass woman. You're supposed to be the person I look up to, not look down at. Like, you like my little baby and shit. I don't want to badmouth her. It's not badmouthing, it's more or less observation, because she's not a bad person. At the end of the day, she's not a bad individual. It's just that there's certain behaviors that she's projecting onto you, that the only way you're going to kind of lose that anxiety and some of this whole scared to speak out type thing is if she leaves the fucking room while you're getting therapies. If you have your own personal space, like you're able to take that 30 to 45 minutes away from her, is the only way that you're going to lose some of that, or try to like be able to kind of forgive her for some of these things. And to be able to set boundaries in a healthy way so she won't react to like, you can't control how she's going to react at the end of the day, and that's what you got to understand when you are setting boundaries. You can't control the way she's going to react. She's going to react how she reacts, and you have to let her have that temper tantrum. Okay, you can't just go right back to the way it was. You got to almost keep reminding her. You got to keep reminding her. Keep stating what you need to state. State your opinion and state what needs to be done. Like, I don't want to hear about this. This doesn't have any application to my life, and I'm trying to move on with my life. If you're also trying to do the same thing, then you're going to change your behavior. Especially with my father, yeah. In that situation, they both are the bad guy. It's like both of them have done their fucking due diligence in crushing
their children under them. Shit show, and I tell her maybe don't go out all the time. I can't always babysit my brother because he gets abusive too when he's in that mindset. And she got mad, like, girl, you can go out, but I'm not babysitting. Right. So that's wild too. It's wild too that she's looking for a break. You know, I understand that it's been such a long time. It's been such a long time since she's gotten that break, but there needs to be some sort of a schedule to where you're not constantly left picking up her mess. And I think that therapist is really going, you already on the right track in that category. Like, you know, these are all the things, you don't got to deal with this shit in one single day. This is going to take months and months and even years at some points of liberation and exposing and communicating and talking and telling someone the real shit, right? It's going to take that time. And obviously there's going to, since she just sat in on this therapy session, right, then there's going to be time down the line where hopefully you get your own space in there and you're able to communicate, but you can also bring her in whenever you feel like it, right? You're in control of that, where you can be like, okay, you know, I want somebody to be there where I'm talking or telling this person what's up. And it's not that I'm ganging up on them. They're going to have all this defensive behavior, I just don't know how to deal with it directly. You know, that's the example that I mean. It's like, if she's going to sit in there, then she also going to be she going to be looked at. I'm home alone, she's out, my brother is at grandma's, but like, go out, I don't care. So if your brother goes over to the grandma's house often, can't he continue to do that, like when you need some time on your own and that? I don't want it. The therapist told her, I'm not his mother, I can't be there, be her when, yeah. And then the father, the dad situation, he doesn't want to be spending time with him either. There has to be some type of fucking program or some shit for the nigga, like some activity, something that can be placed, like that mom could buy or whatever, like that. It can take him off your back for a second. Like, get him a fucking VR headset or some shit. Have a good night, Cassie. Yeah, there's gotta be some type of motherfucking club here, or something that he can go to where he doesn't have, like, he's obviously always gonna have some built up anger because you say he's very special. He wants to quit school, and okay, then tire him out with that shit. Put him on that bitch and fucking VR. That's what I mean. Tire him out with that shit. Tell him he needs to get a job in that category if you love video games so much. Put him on a motherfucking VR headset or some shit. He needs something that's, I'm kind of joking, obviously. He needs something that's a little bit more mentally, like, it just tires him out so that he doesn't grind on other people. Because very clearly he doesn't have the energy. He has extra energy but does not have a place to put it. I told her to put him in therapy place for a month or two since it's hitting him hard. Yeah, why not have him talk to somebody? Why not? Some other things that are going to be coming up too, I think, is listening to your head over your chest, your heart. Listening to that feeling and that drive that is like, you know, I need better for myself. There's going to be points too where I think you're going to need to possibly think about a location change or making more space for yourself in your own house, investing in things where you can separate yourself from these folks, these people. And that might be investing in like different things for your room, or I guess You know, I don't know if you got like lock and key up in that bitch or whatever's going on, or soundproofing or some motherfucking thing that can just like completely separate you from these, like, because you've grown, right? You've grown, and now you need your own space, and now you need to be more, I think, transformative with your space, because that if this is supposed to be your comfort zone and you can't feel comfort there, that's a problem, that's an issue. And I think that needs to be looked at a little bit. Like, I think when you go in there, can you logically say that, hey, this is, you know, you're not obviously trying to ask your parent for anything, but ask yourself, does this place fit me? Is this place really what's best for me? Can I take care of myself here? Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Like, these people don't leave me alone. I would love to move into a little apartment by Richard, and like I said, that's not a choice or an option for right now, but that's something definitely, absolutely down the line. Not even that far down the line, honestly. Like, I give it a year and a half or so, you're going to be able to get an apartment. But for right now, your current space, when you look at it, you're not happy with it. So what do you need to shift over and change? Do a little interior decorating to make it more comfortable for you. Investing with your own money, like some soundproofing or a lock or whatever the fuck you need, in order to separate yourself from that. As you said, he keeps bugging you and doing this and doing that. He gets antsy in that. Yeah, he's got crazy anger issues and likes to attack people. It's because he feels like people are failing him in some type of way. She keeps saying we would do something on my next day off, and then she leaves me. I had this talk with her multiple times, and the excuse is we can't move anywhere until she's steady. I don't think that's an excuse then. If she's telling it to you straight and saying we can't go anywhere, we have to. This is the situation. That's not an excuse. But if she's dismissing you and your feelings on it and not being maybe more forward on her own and letting you know that, like, you know, there needs to be a plan in motion, I think she's looking at it from the perspective of a parent for sure. Because even though you are an adult, that's the one thing that she kind of applies, and it's like, okay, but you can't make this decision on where we go. On what position we're left with when it comes to a house. Like, you can't make that decision. Your clothes went missing, your snacks goes missing. I believe he's selling stuff. He probably is. He probably is. Be giving it to someone else more than likely. Not even selling it. Investing in yourself to make yourself feel more comfortable. This is going to be the theme that rolls through for you. Hi, Lorte. When my safe space is ruined, it's never been safe or comfortable. She says I can't make a decision, but I'm her husband and give her opinions. Right, so she can choose. Her thoughts is she can pick and choose where your thoughts actually matter. You know, that's also a repetitive issue that she had with hubby there. She feels like she can pick and choose what you feel actually matters. When in reality, she should always take what you say into consideration and always be receptive to it, because you are someone who's living with her, but also because you are her child. She shouldn't raise the bar of expectation. She should be the responsible one and be able to let you know, hey, like, you know, this is a plan for the future, and we will continue to build on it. Right this minute, you know, it's going to be a slow process because I'm still getting myself on par with where I need to be for our new beginning. But, you know, we can slowly start looking into different things. And obviously nothing's solid right now. And I think that's probably what bothers her, is that she feels like nothing really around her is solid. That's why she's starting to run away a little bit. Okay? She's running a little bit. And I don't want to make this really all about her, because this is
about your comfort. And I know that you don't feel comfortable around these people, but there has to be little things that you can do in order to have some sort of just tiny bit of relaxation time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Investing into your room and the space where you lay your little head. I even thought of moving with my grandparents again, but they would have to drive me around, and I don't know. Would you have your own space though? Would you have your own space there? And they are stricter, right? But would you be able to have your own space? I mean, I'm gonna look and sift through and see what's in. I think the main... Okay, I mean, I could see your mom feeling betrayed in that, if that is what you chose, but even so, let's remove that out of the picture. Let's remove what everybody else feels out of the picture real quick. Let's remove that, right? Because like I said, you gotta start thinking with a mind and what you're comfortable with up here versus what's happening with your heart when you be, choosing to what she I think would describe as move against her or working against her. Right, you gotta start thinking right here, not right here. So, what would happen if you did? King of Pentacles, get your bag on, get your money. Oh, they would pay. They would pay for shit for you. Give you more. I think give you more financial options. I just dropped this. Give you more financial options. They will pay for a lot of shit for you. They will provide for you, seems like. Right now you're kind of crippled in the means of how you can move when it comes to your schedule, because you are going after school, because you are going after a job, smaller job, 10 hours, whatever. It's like limited things that you could really do by yourself, and so I think they would take care of that as well. We do have a false tower, 8 of cups, in which you might believe that this change could destroy your relationship, but I feel like it could make it stronger. I want to drive again. I haven't since I was sick back to back. I want my license finally. Yeah, that is also something that you need for a little bit of freedom with your license. So is it a good idea? Let's see. Yeah, they said you're afraid that someone's gonna fucking set your current living space ablaze type shit. Like things are just gonna start going wrong back to back to back. And I don't think it's wrong of you to think of other people's feelings and what might go down amongst your family if you left, because you are kind of like an anchor in some types of ways for these people. But that's the main issue, right? That's the main problem. Let me get my oracle. Let's see what they say here. Fear. That's the first card. Yeah, they said fear of mischief. Okay, but so here's my point that I'm gonna make on this situation. I know you just said I'm afraid if I leave my whole room gonna go empty when I come back. But what truly is, what materially, or what is it that you hold so hard onto in this home, in this situation, that like you can't make the you can't trying to figure out a way to word this. It just feels like to me like you're maybe using certain aspects as an excuse in order not to move forward. Because like I said, this is what happens when you are abused, right? Is you keep going through these cycles in your mind, like it could get better, but it could improve if I change my, if I change my mindset. Like everybody's gonna improve. I think everyone's gonna start thinking differently. I think I'm gonna inspire people to be this way and be that way. I don't think so. Like I don't see any changes here happening, even on the account of you maybe taking space away. I think maybe people will get a little bit of realization that you're uncomfortable, but at the same time, I really don't see major change in behavior here. Not until there is like a big, huge move. My stuffed animals, my clothes, some of the stuff I don't have anything from the childhood since I got wrecked. I don't want to lose my stuff. And if that's what you're worried about, if that's the approach, then you gotta invest in a lock on that goddamn door, lock and key. Lock this shit down. You've already expressed to your mother, I'm guessing, that you think that he has been snooping and taking shit. Invest in that lock and key and lock that room up. And talk to your mom about it. That's something you're gonna have to talk to your mom about, of course. But I would you should go stay with them on weekends. If it makes sense, even though they're more traditional and more stuck on faith and that sort of thing, I feel like it would give you a lot more space to breathe. It does seem like your mother might be a little jealous. In the end of that, but like I said, you gotta start thinking for yourself. Stop thinking about her and this family process all the motherfucking time, because it's already fucked up. There ain't nothing that you can do to change these people. They gotta change themselves. That's the only way the situation is going to change. She says next day out. She's trying to save up in that, but like I said, invest in the lock and motherfucking key for that goddamn room. Tell her that your daddy be snooping around and stealing shit, or whoever is doing it. And then that's when you make your little sneaky decision to go start visiting the grandparents and staying over there on the weekend. School talks too much shit, and my grandpa is like my dad I never had. Well, that's sweet. Like I said, that's sweet. They have like minor control of their lives, I guess. Minor control. I say minor because, sometimes I think the people who be spreading that juju, talking all that shit, and constantly talking about the family and this and this and that, and throwing shit around, they also have a thing for like the dramatic, and that can also get draining. But if these are positive influences, go towards them. Stop being so afraid of going towards them because you're afraid of what these other family members are going to think. These people have held you back for so long. Okay? They forced you to swallow their bullshit for so long. It's only right that you can take. It only would be like, helpful to you if you could take this motherfucking break, even if it's just the weekends, even if it's one day of the motherfucking week, to breathe for a second, to work on your shit alone, or to talk to grandma, or whatever you want to talk to, whatever you want to deal with. Maybe she can start you on knitting or something, knitting projects or planning projects. The only thing they talk is have a good connection with my father and take his side. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. You roll the dice and you say, like, either I can continue to deal with this shit directly, or I can talk to people on the outside who view it from a completely different perspective. Even if it is still crooked and fucked up, I can still tell them to shut the fuck up, or make the choice and ignore them. Try to occupy your time in other ways. You would just be going mostly to get out of this bad environment in a physical sense, so that you can have somewhere fucking comfortable to rest your head for a couple of hours a week type shit. Like, there's not really anything you could do about that piece. Like I said, what they think and what they see from the outside, if they want to choose to be against their own daughter and shit like that, that has nothing to do with you. You're their grandkid.
You're not the mom. Okay, you're not the mom or the dad, so they can shut the fuck up. She a DIY queen. Her whole house. Maybe that's a therapeutic thing. Maybe Maybe you can get a stronger connection with your mom, with your mom's mom, right? Your grandma. Maybe that'll be fucking therapeutic. And if you get annoyed, I guess you can, stay home or whatever. But it's a choice and it's an option. And control right now is what you need for healing. It's like certain aspects of like, actually, I can control whether these people keep projecting onto me and talking to me. Because I can just go over to fucking grandma. Go over here, do this and do that. I feel like they would spoil you too, if you was wondering. I think they would spoil you. They would feed you good and all that. I think they would spoil you. Thinking more invested in some headphones, especially noise reductions. Yeah, absolutely. Something that can completely take out that thing of like constantly having to tackle or deal with somebody yelling, screaming, or getting angry, getting pissed off, getting mad, hearing all these toxic conversations. You need to be able to just pop something in and just like walk around, and people see the headphones in your ear and they're like, oh damn, she's ignoring me. Shit. Now you don't gotta keep popping down and talking to these people. Fuck all that. They keep gaslighting you and shit. I live good though. She bought me a lot of clothes. See, but is that like a bad thing? Isn't that what a granny's supposed to do though? Isn't that granny's like not job? It's secondary maternal things, right? It's like when you it takes like a little tiny village to raise a family, and when you have those outside people that feel safer, honestly, than the people that you're dealing with now, then you should lean into that. It's not like they're not going to save you, okay? They're not superheroes. In fact, they have a lot of problems themselves. But it's a safe environment for you to express yourself. The only girl for a whole generation. Right? If she gonna dish it out and do all this shit and make the little meal and do this and do that, it doesn't seem like a bad fucking setup. I know you said she talks shit, drama and this and that, but old people are more forgiving when you just ignore the fuck out of them. They will just keep talking to themselves. They legit will just run their mouth forever. And you would just be sitting there not even listening to them. You're like, what? Like sitting there listening to music, they wouldn't even fucking know. They just keep talking. The boomer logic. There is definitely certain ways that this woman is going to help you, I think, express yourself in a physical manner, though. I keep seeing like the body and the physical sense. All I gotta do is talk about God. Jesus bless me today, Grandma. Also, not a bad thing. I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm not a Jesus freak. I'm not a God freak. None of that type of shit. I'm not someone who particularly believes in God. Whether you do or not, to me, I could give two fucks. But at the end of the day, I know there's certain things in my life that I also value probably just as much as God. For me, that's number one would be family. Number two would be money. Number three would be spirituality. So if there's things that you can value, then you could understand why these people would dedicate their lives to loving a God. It just brings some like normalcy or some sense of grounding to certain people. Because some people is crazier than a shit house rat, and they need something that's like a solid axle point. Keeps them on a good schedule. You don't want to go to church on Sunday or whatever. Kind of made me insecure. A lot of my family did, and feed into my dysmorphia. I had a similar problem because I grew up with something like that with my grandfather. But what can you do? Moral of the story is that if you just take a look at these people, you can see very clearly these bodies ain't perfect. That motherfuckers is not perfect. Like the beer gut and shit, that can go. Like the bitch that got titties hanging out all the way to her feet. Like, bitch, for real though. Like, I'm the problem, my body's the problem. Look at yourself. It's insecurity. All that shit comes from a place of insecurity. Like, fix your hair or whatever. Like, all that. It's all deep insecurity. Because you young and sweet and kind and you got your whole life ahead of you and they ain't got shit. They fucked it all up and continue to look a mess. Yeah, beer gut. Little Bud Light. Man. Especially if you have like that traditional thinking where it's like you need to be a girl who is like 80 pounds sucking, that type of shit, wearing like a corset. He said, amen. Isabella, is there anything specific that you would like to know? Like, you know, anything, any questions about money, any questions about love, whatever you want to ask about. Because right now we just chilling. I don't know about you, but the character personality I'm going to make from my grandparents' house is funny, more innocent. If don't keep in mind, like, you have Isabella, you are impressionable, but not impressionable to the point where you're fucking stupid, right? Your personality is ever expanding. The things that you love is ever expanding. The things that you can kind of like create for yourself and maybe even learn from is ever expanding. And it's not just because you some young ass kid or whatever. It's because like you are just open to certain interpretations that many people would not be, certain experiences, right? And right now you might not feel like, oh well, I don't have a choice type shit, you know, I gotta do this. But at the end of the day, once you do end up in this position, I think you thrive you find yourself to be triumphant through situations that are painful and that are extreme at times. You're the chameleon effect that I was talking about with air signs earlier. You chameleon. Money like a raise or love. I kind of want some man, but for entertainment. Okay. Let's you honest. Hallelujah, Grandma, it's a beautiful Sunday. I can't with you. I can't with you. Just don't let them catch you swearing and shit. Careful with your words. Don't say, oh, Jesus Christ. You're going to get yourself soaked in the mouth. I wanted to up to you. School's only going to be online except for end of semester. But I can study at campus. That's cool. You can still study and talk to folks. Like, you looking to break out of jail right now. So, like, those sort of situations where you can still deal with that. Hey, fuck it. You can go to campus and go listen to fucking people talk about how, you know, whatever. Their girlfriend just cheated on them, this and this and that. I'm telling you, it's just another extension of high school. These people ain't mature at all. But it's fun. Don't let them catch you listening to me, because you know I use all the big boy words. That demon, put that demon down. He's possessed by Satan. Put him down. I love Christians, dude. That type of, at time, it's not even just Christians, it's like the extremists. That type of ignorance is absolutely, like, it enthralls me. It makes me, it just makes my brain tingle. It's like, makes me laugh and shit. And is it maybe because they are a little gullible? Yes. But it's also just so interesting to me how a person can become so obsessed with with that particular lifestyle. It's that cult groupthink type behavior. My grandparents interested into spirituality too. What? So you telling me that they got that little Sunday Christian shit, but they also kind of fuck with spirit? Hell yeah. But they gon', like I said, they gonna hear all the words out of my mouth, be like, who is this? Who is this demon possessed by Satan? They make me cleanse the house when they... That's cool though. What the fuck? They make you cleanse the house. That's cool as fuck. Then you can house it. If they be leaving or running away or whatever the fuck they want to do, then you can house it and be home alone. About this funny as shit. Okay, so let's see. You wanted to ask about the money aspect. Let me look at your money. Okay. So I feel like grandma or someone would let you use the car. They're saying someone's gonna let you use the car. My great grandma's witchy. That's grandma's mom, so she knows how gifted I am. Okay, but that's not bad. It's not a bad thing. I feel like grandma will let you use the car as long as you're home by 8 and shit. She said as long as you're home by 6 is what she would say. I feel like grandma will let you use the car though. Because that just came up randomly because they be talking about grandma and cars. So. Okay. One of the managers saw how fast I was catching people out and how neat I do the stock and fit on. Shit. Be home by 6. For real though. Okay, so they are talking about with work that I think you won't be doing more than one thing. Okay, there's a couple of different things now. Whether it is tarot or some other project that you end up taking up, it does seem like you're going to start investing in yourself in some type of way within these next couple of months. I'm not going to say it's instantly because you're still trying to get used to what you have right now. Okay, you're trying to get used to some shit. But once you end up not knowing what to do with your money, with your finances, kind of with some of this freedom, I do see you trying to invest in yourself. Said my uncle who lives with them does crazy stuff to cars. I'm gonna see when I get my license if he can tweak my shit. Okay. Alright. You might be able to get your fucking license over there. You know what I'm saying? Don't sound too bad. Okay, so they're talking about how working will make a really, really huge difference, I think, in your just the amount of confidence you have. I mean, it was the same before, even when you was dealing with like the chaotic and dramatic shit. With that other job, right? The one next to the zoo. But this one seems like it's more steady and more appropriate for your mind. Because I do think a lot of these people enjoy their privacy. They're not like, I don't see a lot of drama happening here. I see a lot of like, well, I'm just here to fucking work and get my shit done. It reminds me of like how when I see the people in Walmart late at night, like stocking the shelves, they be listening to music and all that shit. They just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about anyone. They ain't even talking. They just doing their shit. That's what it seems like. I do think that there will be some kind of, I don't know if it's a raise or you just taking more hours, but you're going to have more time, it looks like here, in order to work than what you're thinking. Okay? You're going to have more time than what you're thinking. There's a case that I'm kind of seeing here. Like, I think you might choose to stay over at your grandparents more than what you're thinking, or you might just have the time to do that. Maybe it's more like you're gonna go over there when you're studying for school and that, like when you're doing shit online because you can't get like the peace at home type shit. You might choose to actually go over to your grandparents' place. That's what it seems like, because they talk about another home, another house, another opportunity, just more space and different personality, different people who would actually kind of like maybe help you in certain ways. I know that there's still drama and bad blood, and you know, but I just got confirmation 3 different times where they're talking about the wheel of fortune, and confirmate, like literally the card of confirmation, and then your will is strong. So they're talking about possibly picking up some more hours and that being successful, and then you being able to save up enough money as well when it comes to some car things. Maybe just travel though. It could be just travel or getting your license. Because if mama not going to invest in it and let you do all that, then seems like something that you can do over at that other spot. Yeah, because they say you're going to be in the hot seat when you're in grandma's house. They gonna grill you. I heard let the door hit you with the good Lord split you type shit. I can't stand them saying this. I can't stand them sayings. So, I think that you might even be working more close. I know you said 10 to 15 hours, right? You might actually be working more close to part-time type shit. Like very, very close to like full part-time, whatever that means. And then you would also have time to study too. So interesting, because I think things will line up once you're actually in the position of having that school on your schedule. You will know how much you can take. You will know how much you can do. It seems very, very like customizable. My grandparents in the text say we are going to Puerto Rico. That's not bad though. Let them spoil you. You be talking about all these clothes and shit that you got back at the house, and all the things that you're attached to, that you've grown attached to because you can't stay attached to anyone in that goddamn house. Like, there's new things to see. There's new things to wear. There's new things to like and love doing, and that you can enjoy just in a different space. It gives you a completely different mindset. Not because, it's not even because of the people, it's just because it's a different space. Not with all that fucking tension and frustrated ass energy. The shit that where you feel constantly attacked when you're under your own roof, that's not okay. You know, that's not something, that's the type of pressure that makes people drop out of school. You know what I mean? That drop out of school and stop working and doing this and doing that. Because it brings depression with it. It just damages you permanently. I do see jealousy coming from mom or your brother, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's your escape. It's not up to them on what you do next. It's really not. It's not. So with love, with romance, the sun. Okay, could be meeting a Libra or dealing with a Libra.
it doesn't seem like there's going to be too many people in your court. I think you can only really take one at a time. That's what it's seeming like. I was going to end it, but I realized how bad I was and who I am. Yeah. I mean, in those moments, all you can really do is like, you can't allow people to be your worth, right? Like what they tell you to be your worth. Because at the end of the day, you know yourself best, even though at times it feels like you are completely out of control, that you don't know what the fuck you're going to do. You've done a lot for yourself that other people have not. Even in the position of being younger and possibly even a little bit more naive when it comes to the abuse, you've done a lot for yourself alone. Like, to be able to push forward and have that little fucking kick in the ass, that doesn't come from anybody in your family. That comes from you. That natural drive and that natural adrenaline. So you are pretty cool. What the fuck you mean? You are cool as fuck. Yeah, don't let that shit tempt you. Because if you're looking for results, the only person today and now that's going to be making them is you. Because that's been the situation, though. That's been the situation. It's been what's happening. And I know that's stressful and it's a lot to put on your shoulders and shit like that. But as awful as it might feel like that you are alone on this journey, that also makes it a lot fucking easier for you. Because if you're the only one going after some of the things that you're going after, then you can make them hard fucking decision. Like them decisions where like you can choose to shun people and shut people out. Them decisions where you can choose where you want to work or who you want to work with. You can be real picky with it, because at the end of the day, you know what you want. You know what you're aiming towards. You know what your goals are. My mom says the nasty attitude. My grandparents treated me as their kid. All the more. That positivity can be scary, because I mean, I think also you think about whether this is betraying your mother or not, but like, these are her fucking parents. Just because she couldn't handle them, she couldn't deal with them, she couldn't whatever, she chose to do other things with her life, it doesn't mean you have to. These are still your relatives, your grandparents, people who love you. I just think she feels like a big kid when she's around her parents. And when they start scolding her, or talking this, talking that, talking about the hubby, talking this way, that way, I don't think that you'll ever fully understand a situation between your mom and dad, but I don't even think you fucking have to. Why would you have to? Why would you have to, right? Like, this ain't no motherfucking battle or brawl. Like, for real. Why would you even have to understand it? Why would you? You wouldn't, because you're not going to make those mistakes. You're not going to follow through on all these fucking things that these people is doing. And like I said, that's a hard thing to hold by yourself on your back. So you're like, I want to be better than these people, but and you're like, well, there's not really much to live up to and all this and all that. But like, you work very, very hard. Even if you don't know where you're going, even if you don't know what you're trying to do to achieve, you work extremely hard. Yeah, they said magician and the wheel of fortune. You work very, very hard, and you're being noticed. Noticed by spirit, noticed by people who want to be protective of you. I don't really care. She was telling me how ugly ladies where he sent stuff to, like his type. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, see, it's none of your fucking business. It has nothing to do with you. It also, actually, has nothing to do with her. Now, who he was sending to. Like, all she's got to know is that she doesn't stand for that type of fucking behavior. And she needs to move the fuck on. Who gives a fuck how that ugly it was? If she want to do all that stalking because she still feels attached to him, then fine. But she does that on her own time. If she's still on the fucking fence about whether she wants to move on with her life, that's on her. That's not on you, babe. So you continue to eat your motherfucking Chick-fil-A. You continue to roll your eyes and you continue to move forward. Like I said,
You need space. You take that space, regardless of what her reaction might be and what's going to happen. If people ransack your room, Granny will buy you new clothes. You buy yourself new clothes. If they ransack your room and take shit out of there, it'll be replaced. I know there's sentimental value and all that, but stop with the materialism. Stop with the materials, though. Put yourself in, high gear type shit. Put yourself at the forefront. Stop putting them in front of you. Stop putting, the toys and all that extra shit in front of you. Those are things that you're going to forget in the very near future. Because you are moving on with yourself. Because you are prioritizing yourself. Because you are growing. And I know those are scary pieces and scary parts. Trust and believe, like to when you become attached in a situation that is like abusive, right? When you become attached to items and shit, it becomes almost like a form of relief or coping or whatever. And when you've kept it for so long and it's seen so much wear and tear and so much, I guess it's seen the whole timeline, sometimes it can also trigger and traumatize you as well. You know what I mean? There's certain things in your room or certain things that you still hold on to that are like a constant reminder, not only of, okay, I'm safe, I feel safe, but also they're old. It's something that's lasted throughout so many horrible situations and you're holding on to it. The material shit, eventually that needs to go, because there's so much new coming in for you. Like, that's why I be talking and telling people that's why when I was doing the collective, I was like, y'all need to buy some fucking new shit. Okay? Buy some new fucking clothes. Start over. Start anew. We're trying to start the fucking new cycle. We're not trying to forgive and forget and all that type of shit. Like I said, I hate when people say that, because that is not what makes you project onto other people when they come into your life. Okay? You being the victim is what makes you project and trigger other people. So you can still continue to hold those situations and that hatred and all that, whatever, like people call it negativity, right? Even though that's just the human condition, human emotion. You're gonna feel spited and slighted and betrayed by people who spite and slight and betray you, right? You don't need to act. You don't need to be petty about it. You can still hold those emotions and still feel very strong about them. You can carry those on to the rest of your motherfucking life. You don't need to forgive and forget nobody, because they still did that shit to you and you hold them responsible for it. Don't use it up in a fucking manipulative way, because then you're just no better than they are, right? But at the end of the day, when you're trying to start over, wipe off the slate and shit like that, you're getting better at communication. You're getting better at moving forward. You're getting better at making heavy decisions moving forward that don't include these toxic connections and toxic people. As you're doing that, you're going to find it a lot less awkward to just say, I fucking hate you. Or you're going to find it a lot less awkward to be like, well, I fucking hate when you do this. When you do this shit, that makes me feel like shit. When you try to do all this shit, it makes me feel, invalidated. Makes me feel small, because you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to control me, you're trying to fuck with me on purpose type shit. Like, it's not because you're trying to fight no more. It's just directness that's always needed to be there. It's like, but how are you supposed to do that when you're the kid, when you're the child? When you're supposed to be the child in that structure, but it's all sorts of fucked up because a person keeps putting a fucking certain hat on you, like you the best friend, or you the dunce, you the dumbass, you this way, you that way. I grew up in a very similar household, by the way, Isabella. Very, very similar in certain aspects. Was I had the whole, I was raised by old folks, but I grew up in a very similar dynamic. So I understand totally what you, for the most part, are dealing with. Especially certain thoughts and certain actions that you think about on the regular, because it feels like everything you do is going nowhere and you're not seeing. But like, if you take the larger goals out of the picture and start making smaller goals first, start making more small, solid goals first,
what you're gonna realize is that you actually really do achieve a lot more than what you're thinking. You can like you're excelling, right? You can always sit there and belittle yourself and be like, oh my god, that was so stupid, why the fuck did I say that, why did I do that, why did I deal with this person, why did I fall for this, why did I fall for that trap. But at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna say the positive outweighs the negative. It does. I want to be young, like I want to go, but like see, that association right there is even a part of the problem, and that's not you. It's not you necessarily. That mindset comes from the people around you for sure. But being old should not be being miserable. Throughout the rest of your life, if you are somebody who has healed, who has gone through the process of healing, who has fought off the illness and the fucking ignorance of everybody else, if you're somebody who holds their all against all the horrible shit that's happened, then you should still feel young. You should still feel happy. You should still have that youngness inside of you, right? You shouldn't be miserable. When you get old, you shouldn't be getting more miserable by the day and by the second shit. You know, all the old people are like, oh, things get more complicated as you get older. No, they don't get more complicated. They just change. They just fucking change. The process shifts over and changes, but it's still the same fucking process. You're still trying to fucking live every day. You're trying to, hold yourself responsible. You're trying to make goals for yourself. It's just, another phase of the same shit. So, it's tempting to want to just, it is what it is. Like, just quit on the shit. Fuck everybody. Fuck this. Fuck that. But like I said, if you look at the smaller goals that you've achieved first, if you start making more achievable goals first, and then you start aiming higher and higher as you keep going, you're gonna realize you break a lot of the motherfucking stigmas and the cycles and the bullshit all by yourself, all by your lonesome. The things that people thought you could never do, and the things that people look down upon and point their finger in your motherfucking face, and whatever. These things that they never thought that you could do alone, you end up doing all of those things. That's the crazy shit. What you send me? So Isabella with love though. Oh, that's pretty. The rainbow. The rainbow's pretty. Rainbows stand for new beginnings as well. And if you look at the Wheel of Fortune, look at what's on there. They got a whole little rainbow on there. In this card too, Ten of Pentacles. It's all over. It's all over. Why did I get this, dude? Why did I get this all right? So my grandmother always used to watch the movie Dreamgirls. If you know what it is, you know what it is. My grandmother loved fucking musical. This little white chick loved musicals constantly. Black musicals especially. And the movie Dreamgirls, I got that song that's like the I Am Changing song. I think it's Jennifer Hudson that sings it. It could be Beyonce or Jennifer. They might both sing it. I'm not sure if it's that one. I'm not sure. I felt 50. I felt like I never had a teenage childhood. Right, but as a you're still a teenager. You're still a teenager, first of all. You're still in those bouts of life. That song goes like, I am changing, trying every way I can. I am changing, I'll be better than I am. I heard that when she got the full fucking CD, that bitch would never stop playing it. I'm broken, I'm trying to run away. I remember I remember Jennifer Hudson in that movie being such a strong fucking character. Beyonce, she's beautiful. We all know Beyonce, but Jennifer Hudson, she took that role and she fucking stuck with it. She felt that shit for real. I've seen that movie probably 1,500 times. Every time it was on, my grandma stop on HBO or whatever, be like, looking around at everybody, turn that shit up, spike that shit. Everyone's like, we've heard this so many times. Please, please, pick a new movie. I'm broken. All my life I've been fooled. You say you could do it all. How many good friends have I already walked? How many walking down that long road? There was something I could find. All my years of dark nights could make a person blind, but now I can see I am changing. I am every way I can. I am changing. I'll be better than I am. That movie was decent. Jennifer Hudson was good in that movie. Like I said, so was Beyonce, but everybody know Beyonce. Like, I was more shocked at fucking Jennifer. She got some fucking lungs on her. Now all I watch is fucking horror. Then start watching them cheese doodle ass movies that bring in the good vibes and the giggles and shit. That's all my fucking grandmother used to watch. You say 18, almost 19. It's crazy how much I've changed from me being here. Well, yeah. Well, when you make it, yeah, when you put it that way, and take your recent thoughts into consideration, when you're like, oh, you might as well jump off a cliff. Like I said, look how much you have accomplished. Look how, like, you become a lot more out of yourself. A lot more. You know, instead of being the snail that, like, kind of crinkles back in, you become a lot more out of yourself and a lot more honest. A lot more forward. It's not about honesty, because it's not that you lie. It's just that about that direct quality. I don't want to seem desperate, but I kind of want a relationship. I feel ready, maybe the delusion. It's not delusional to want a relationship. It's not delusional to want to be loved. But what you do have to take in consideration is the fact that you don't have to be entirely healed to find anyone, right? But in order to find someone stable enough, you have to find someone who is on your same path. It doesn't have to be on like, as far as levels go, you don't have to be dealing with the same exact shit or mirroring each other, or you don't have to have any similarities. In fact, just as long as that person is working at that same speed as you are, 99% of the time, you could at least have a decent connection in a friendship with a. But remember that it starts at friendship. You guys always should maintain a friendship. Even outside of this whole, like, construct of romance, you always should have a really good friendship with your partner. Like, that's if you planning your life with somebody, or you planning the next couple of years with someone, that's still a long time. At the end of the day, think of how much shit changes within 2 years. Think of how much shit changes within just 2 fucking years. Alright, I'm gonna use these. I'll see who's coming towards you. See what's up. I was trying to think of the other songs from that movie. I remember Eddie Murphy when he's doing the scary.
Hey, yeah. On the hill, listen to you. Jimmy one, Jimmy one, Jimmy one, Jimmy one, Jimmy one. I kept shuffling. Yeah, I got it again. I realized the guy I was talking to, like, I want him, but at the same time, I don't care if it don't work. I'll flip-flop. Well, like I said, it's okay if you're looking for a romance with no attachment, basically. In certain aspects, you don't need both, but I think you would prefer both. Okay, because from knowing you, how much you like to socialize and getting, you kind of get people to cough up their private lives and that, I think you just got to keep yourself at that safe distance and know how to make the boundaries with those peoples as well. Because if you struggle with it within your personal life, your family life, you also want to struggle with it outside of that in your love life. But I get clingy and eye twisty. I think you would do that with anyone who you liked enough. Cancers have the same problem that Capricorn does. Got deep attachment. When we feel like we connect with someone on a friendship level or on a giggly, goofy, someone who can make us giggly and goofy, it just instantly becomes like maybe a consistent obsession, I'll say. Who we got coming towards you? We have Leo energy. Leo, who's coming towards you? None of these people. It said none of these people. Okay, not that person either. Neptune, Pisces and Leo. Pisces and Leo, Capricorn, Aries. Okay. Gemini and Libra. Don't say that I am obsessed. It's easy to get attached and obsessed with something that you never experienced before because it gives you a new adrenaline, a new rush. It's just easy. It's easy to do that because you get carried away. I don't think, you're in love with him or anything like that. I don't see that. Especially if you're one foot in, one foot out. I just think you're really passionate. You're really passionate. So, Libra, Pisces, Capricorn, Aries, and Leo. So, these are all traits that your next individual or individuals that you maybe deal with can have. I'm going to say majority of them are going to be people that you connect with on a more spiritual level. Not that they're into spirituality, but the fact that you could kind of hear and feel what they're saying or thinking is going to be real. So you could just I think you just connect with them. Like, it's like you don't connect on a verbal level. It's like you just connect and tune into their emotions. I think that's dangerous as well, but it's just kind of how you are, who you are. You connect into people not only to, I guess, to get them, to balance them out, but also to sometimes play with them. That whole Gemini piece coming through. Sometimes play with them, sometimes manipulate a little bit. But the biggest lesson that you will learn is that the people that are coming towards you, unfortunately, are going to be mirroring your current situation that you feel trapped and stuck in. You're looking for something new and kind of wondering why you actively get these kind of fucked up or half-assed people, and why there's such a large incompatibility. Like, even if you want them, you're incompatible, right? You keep wondering this, right? And it's because, like I said, a lot of the issues that need to be tackled directly right now within the family situation are the same situations that's carrying over into love. Now, whatever you decide first, whatever you learn first, it's going to dictate the other. Okay, so say you learn how to speak your piece and do this and do that with your family,
or with a partner, like I said, it's going to move over. It's going to hop over. You're going to be able to use it, and I know you're uncertain. You're kind of scared. You don't want to be selfish or like a bitch, but like, who gives a fuck? You said future between these legs. Isabella. I was gonna say don't joke, but at the end of the day, you grown, girl. You grown. Get what you can get. They said that Leo though. They said that Leo be missing you. The Leo be missing on you, whatever. Yeah, it gives you a buzz to deal with some of these people. I was being very serious romantically, not even 2 weeks, then the whole situation happens. Don't keep flying forward. The amount of time that you spend with these people, be it 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. When you're first getting to know these people, unless they are like physically in your area of space, there is no telling what they're gonna say to you to try to convince you that they are somebody that they aren't. But just know, majority of these people that you're meeting online are incredibly insecure about themselves and about their life, and they naturally will lie about themselves and about their life because they don't want you to think any less of them, because they are trying to impress you, trying to shock you. Where you're actually gonna have more luck with finding kind of like, I guess more, it wouldn't be down to earth, it'd just be more honest people and what they want, will be a dating app, to be honest with you. And I know that seems strange and that seems you're like, oh fuck, but I hate them. But at the same time, like, the patterns that keep happening with these people online and such, the reason why they watch a certain type of content, the reason why they fall in line with a certain type of content is because they're deeply insecure. You and I play video games a lot late at night and send TikTok. Okay. Well, I'm saying, don't be falling in love with that situation. You know it's toxic, and at the end of the day, if you know that you can't deal with someone regularly like this without catching feelings, then you also know that you should back up and have your own type of boundaries. I scared to date Aries. I would try it. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of the sexual shit, a lot of this and this and that. But I think people are just more honest there. It's less these childish, kiddish types. And maybe that's what you want to deal with. If that's what you want to deal with, hey, by all means. But if you're not looking for a sibling and you're looking for a man's, then I would look on maybe the dating apps and such. Yeah. Also, don't put your whole offer out onto the table type shit. I think a lot of the issue too is that you're ready to give yourself away so easily. In like, you know, you're good at certain things. You know that you're good at consoling people. You know that like you're good at listening. And remember that in this type of situation, you are not forced to. Especially if you're annoyed or you feel like somebody's just not matching your speed or whatever, you can check people the way you need to check them. He's not gonna do anything to your address, babe. Don't be that gullible. Don't be that gullible. He's not gonna do nothing to your address. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You're back. Isabella, I'm gonna get off. I think you can take a shower. Take a nice hot fucking shower. Because I can sit here myself, get a little
little congested, a little dry. Those of you that did sit and chill tonight, I appreciate it. I felt like we had a lot of fun. Just listen, like, you know, sitting, chatting, listening, reading, whatever. We had a lot of fun. I think I will be on it. I'm gonna be real. I might be on again because I ain't got nothing to do this weekend. I'll be on again at like 5. I want to try for 5. I don't think we're supposed to get any more storms today. The reason why I got on so late was these motherfucking storms kept knocking my shit out. He moved on. He told me no, but I know you know what I mean. Yeah, Isabella. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know exactly what you mean. Isabella, I'm going to give you a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 cards here. We'll give you 2 money cards and 2 of these oracle cards. Let's see. 2 money cards. Invest in yourself. Okay, we got 3 money cards because these fell out together. They say get a loan. I feel like that more or less means, you know, use your resources. Don't go broke trying to show off. What, you buying games and shit? What's up? Your hard work is paying off. You're about to land a badass, let's say a badass job position. Feel like you're easy to manipulate. That's not mean. That's just the truth, man. That's just the fucking truth. If he easy, he easy. See, you're learning about the streets. You're just learning. You're learning really. But keep in mind, those ones that are easy to manipulate are also very, very easily enamored and caught up with manipulating you too. Because remember, if you are going in with that tactic, they're going to go in with the same tactic because they're trying to match your energy. And when they're trying to match your energy to get attention or to get love or get their dick sucked or whatever, like I said, it's the same shit. They believe the same thing about you. So just keep that in mind. Double standard type shit. Alright, what do we got? We got gifts. That's the first thing. The first card we got is gifts. Now, I don't have a little booklet for some reason. Man, to lose that, but we have gifts. That's the first one. And I feel like that the gifts piece more or less refers to your empath level. Talking about like getting in touch with your emotions, trusting your mind for right now over your heart. Gotta stop saying certain things that, like, I feel like they control your fate in some type of way. Stop saying certain things, negative things. I feel like they talk about being able to save yourself versus waiting for a savior. I think that's what you also carry over within to your love life too. Looking for a savior, someone who can give you something good on the side. Well, you're also dealing with a lot of shit on your own by yourself, a lot of stress, and then you rely on them for that, and then you end up hurt. But you're learning. They said dominance, a reassertion. They talk about warning. What's the warning here? What's the warning? Oh, warning about trusting your current routine. Yeah, they said warning about trusting your current routine. If you continue on to this path of your current routine, you could lose a lot of your manifestations and lose a lot of these gifts that you do have, like your empath. You're gonna start losing your sense. Like, in a way, I feel like you were kind of like a bloodhound, and it's like a bloodhound losing its sense of smell. That's what they said. Gotta switch it up, babe. Switch it up. But yeah, they said protect yourself from the people who keep projecting onto you. If you have the power to do that, why not do it, right? We already talked about all that shit that you can do in order to make your great escape. We talk about going over to the Jesus freaks, dealing with a Jesus freak. They say, talking about crown chakra, using your mind over your heart. They're working too much on right here. You need to work on up here too. There's a balance to both of them. Alright. I'm going to shower. I appreciate y'all that came through and watch me drag her to Home Depot today. Go and get the fuck out of the house. Go. Shoo. Go. Stop, laying in bed all day and doing this and do that. Go. Get the fuck out of the house. Go ahead. That's it. Go. And she gonna be buying you a little thing. She'll buy you a fucking lock for your door. Like, for real. Go. Yeah, Granny trying to show you some love. Show you what it's about. Ask Granny for advice about love. You know what she gonna tell you. Get married first. Yeah, no, I appreciate all y'all for real, for coming through and for sitting and listening and whatnot. It was a lot of fun. It was actually very, very peaceful. I didn't want no chaos coming on, and actually, we seem to skip that. And sometimes people just get too juiced up and too excited. They start it's like how the dog get too excited type shit. You gotta be like, oh my god, just sit the fuck down for a sec. Sit the fuck down. Alright. Yep, seagull. That is actually the perfect emoji. Seagull. Love my Capricorns. Love my Cancers, Geminis. Love all y'all. Aries, Sag, all y'all. Alright, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Like I said, I'm gonna try for late afternoon tomorrow, but if that's not the case, then I'm gonna try at some point that morning, probably 5 a.m. something like that, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., which I think was the other most voted on thing in the community section. Alright, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.